Grace and peace, everybody. We are back. Welcome to the J-Wit podcast, formerly known as Dear Woke Christian. Appreciate you stopping by on this evening. I got a fun show for you planned tonight. I'm going to go over, of course, the name change. Lots of people were asking, what's up with the new branding? What's up with that? So we'll talk about that, of course. And I want to go over a couple other little hot button topics as well as do some Q&A. So you're going to ask me a lot of things. Feel free to ask questions in the chat. If you don't mind, put some hearts in front of it, or maybe big capital Q or the word question in front of it. If you have a question, that'll help me out a whole lot. Help me see it as we're going through the stream on this evening. So I do want to say thank y'all so much for tapping in. I really do appreciate it. I just found it just as I was getting ready to go live. Y'all know we've been talking about Candace quite a bit, right? And I'm trying to find some objective observations because lots of people accuse me of being, biased, blah, 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 blah. You're biased, Jason. You didn't watch the full video. You didn't watch the series and such like that. So I found somebody. I think we might actually review what this person said, because this person attests that he watched the full video and he was convinced by Candace's presentation. Okay. But there's a little bit more to it. So I might do that one. I might just pull it in. I just found it. I listened to the first opening salvo and I might bring it in. So y'all will let me know. I'll ask you all for sure what you all think about it. So thank y'all so much for tapping in on this evening. Just I need to make sure my audio sounds good. I haven't done a live stream in so long. I think it sounds pretty good. I think it sounds pretty splendiferous. Jason, get at it, boy, get at it. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for jumping in to the best live chat on the internet. I appreciate y'all so much. So most of you all know, and I'll just go over very quickly. Maybe I'll do it again later on as well. I got a friend that might stop by later on, so we'll welcome Mike if he hops through, of course. A lot of you all know this channel was called Dear Woke Christian. Shout out to Dear Woke Christian. Got the t-shirt on tonight because I forgot to change t-shirts. Anyway, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Brilliant disguise. Thank you so much. There she is, Amethyst Angel in the building. Good to see y'all. Thank you so much for y'all stopping by on this evening. And lots of people were asking, hey, well, let me rewind for a second. Dear Woke Christian, what was the purpose of that channel? The name Dear Woke Christian, the name, the purpose, the name, the mission was to put my thumb in your eye if you were somebody that embraced critical race theory, social justice, and Black Lives Matters, because they are antithetical to the scriptures. The scriptures don't support the idea of reverse racism, social justice, or anything of that nature. And so I wanted to really propose that we reconsider how we're approaching this. And this was during the summer of love, 2020, when people are burning down stuff, going crazy, bonkers, right? And I said, hey, hey, dear woke Christian, how do you handle this? Because there were literally people on Twitter, it was called Twitter back then, that were saying like, hey, I could be a woke Christian. This is what woke Christians do, blah, 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 blah. Woke Christians do the work. Woke Christians do this. And I was just asking questions like, hey, how do you give the gospel to a white person after you just shanghaied them for reparations? How does that work, woke Christian? And such of that nature. So that's really the genesis of the channel, Dear Woke Christian. And I still have the videos up on my channel that kind of explain that in a little bit longer tail. So you can definitely check them out. However, over time, and on that channel, Dear Woke Christian, I would do sermon reviews and I would do lecture reviews and pulling all these people who were professing to be woke or embracing social justice or Black Lives Matters and really, testing it out to the scriptures. And it was super fun. Had a great time doing it. Over time, however, my interest in things that I wanted to talk about, because I was kind of pigeonholed to talk about this particular topic. And it was really difficult to talk about other topics that were interesting to me or interesting to the audience. Or if I would talk about things that might be interesting to the audience, they wouldn't come because they wouldn't expect me to be talking about that. And it was just they were starting to become a slight disconnect. And then the YSL trial happened. And I don't even know what happened. I have no idea how. I have to go back and think about it. How did I get on the Young Slime Life, Young Successful Life, whatever trial that was here in Atlanta? And I started reporting on it. And it would be like day-long live streams. He'd be on live stream for 8-9 hours a day. And it was very interesting. Lots of hijinks, lots of shenanigans, all kinds of chicanery going on in this trial. It was crazy. And somebody asked me one day, so, hey, are you going to drop the name Dear Woke Christian? I'm like, why, man? I'm over here giving social political commentary from a Christian male perspective. I can talk about this. So, yeah, but what you're talking about doesn't really necessarily dive with the name. And I said, man, get out of here. Get out of here. I just kind of poo-pooed him off. He knows who he is. I gave him his flowers. He did, in fact. He was one of the first people I told I was going to change the name. He said, good. But I was starting to talk about a lot of law cases and such of that nature, and dipped my toes in politics and all these other things that I really wanted to talk about and wanted to add my commentary on that I was no longer able to do, or rather I had not been able to do when I was just doing social political commentary from a Christian male perspective as Dear Woke Christian. And so thought about it, prayed about it, played around with some imagery, played around with some logos, played around with all that kind of stuff like that. I came up with a logo that really jumped out at me. I said, man, I like this a lot. So I don't know, this might be it. And I just kind of played around a little bit more. And I had determined that I was going to change the name when I hit 50,000 subscribers. But some reason or another, the channel really started not growing. It was doing really fine in February and March. April was great. Came into May. Oh my goodness. So things kind of really slowed down. And I was kind of playing around with the idea all the way back then, right? So maybe I will change his name. Got the logo, got the branding, got all those kind of things lined up. I said, hey, when I hit 50,000, because I was hoping I'd hit 50,000 a lot sooner, I said, the big celebration would be the name change and the rebrand. And, still trudging through, trying to make it work and putting out content that I thought the audience would like. That's where we started talking about Mayor Mondays and the Saturday school report card. All those kind of things like that started coming up because I was like, hey, I'm not pigeonholed to only be talking about what's going on in the quote unquote woke church or woke Christian discussion. So lots of new opportunities to talk about different topics. Of course, this is where Dalton came in. We've been talking about Dalton for a while, right? And all of that. And I decided that, you know what? I think the channel might have run its course. Talked to a couple mentors. I talked to other people, smart thinkers. I say, hey, I think this channel by its name has run its course. Woke really isn't that big of a thing anymore. We are in a post-woke world and such of that nature. And maybe I should just go ahead and jump off the woke train now, rather than hold on to it. And, some people have said, well, just go by the monogram, DWC, which is fine. Or something of that nature. I said, I think it might have run its course. And the final nail in the coffin, if you will, what really, what made it clear to me is I was talking to a content creator and I was listening to her talk to me and she would call me, hey, DWC this or Dear Woke this, that, and the third. And a lot of the time, content creators just refer to each other by their channel names. But I'm fine with my name is Jason. And I'll listen to the person. I say, hey, real quick, do you know what my name is? And she honestly said, I don't know your name. I don't know. I didn't like that. Like, wait, hold on. You don't know what my name is? And I've met you. Like, no, I don't know your name. Now, there are people I know I've met in real life. I don't know their names either. But I was like, wait, why don't you know my name? And so I said, okay, that was it. That was a nail in the coffin. I said, I'm going to go ahead and retire DWC. I still got my DWC hat. I still got the DWC hoodie. I have ordered a J Whip podcast hoodie and a J Whip podcast hat. But oh, by the way, if you're on my Substack, you can go see. I did a walkthrough of my studio here in the house and kind of showed you all the ins and outs, everything that's going on. So go check it out on my Substack. And if the moderators would want to drop it in there, feel free to drop it in there. But back to the point. I said, you know what? It might be time. The DWC may have run its course. And now it might be time to rebrand, give the channel a new facelift, and move in the direction that we've already been going in, which is doing a lot of social and political commentary, still remain from a Christian perspective, but we don't have to be pigeonholed into only talking about what Ibram X. Kendi or Jamar Tisby is ranting about. I said, hey, I think we're going to pull the trigger. So that's what happened on last week. I got everything lined up, had all my little websites lined up, and started changing them all simultaneously. I think I did pretty good. There's a couple places where I made a couple mistakes and didn't change everything. And there's a couple of sites that I don't use that frequently that I kind of forgot the passwords. But I will definitely get in there and change those eventually as well. So anyway, that is why DWC is retired. That is why we are now the JWIB podcast. And I miss doing live streams too. I have to admit, live streams are a lot of fun, but with some of the things going on here at Whitaker Park, it was getting a little bit hectic. So that's why I haven't been doing them. But I'm sure there's going to be some cases popping up real soon that I might have to go ahead and make this thing get back in the seat and in the saddle all day. So let's go. We got West Virginia in the building. Shout out to you. I absolutely love how you're giving the backstory and everything. Your whole setup is amazing and your community is fantastic. Shout out to West Virginia Wire, a fantastic content creator. She's been talking about Candace as well. She talks about lots of other great content. So go check her out. If the moderators could put West Virginia Wire in the chat, I'd appreciate it. Please make sure you have liked, shared, and subscribed. Hey, y'all follow what West Virginia's saying over there and keep feeding the algorithm. I'm at amen. I love it. Yeah, I mean, I do live north of Fulton County. Maybe that's what kind of encouraged me, got me stirred up on. I have no idea how I found the YSL trial. I have no idea. But let me tell you, it was a lot of fun. He and Sheridan kept a glue. Thanks for your snark. I might miss something. Wait, I'm watching for info on. I'm waiting for your info on Philly Mayor Cheryl Parker. Okay, I'm going to check her out. Shoot me an email, Amethyst Angel, because I do want to talk about one of your Philly residents, Umar Johnson. I might talk about him tonight, but I got to check up on Cheryl. I haven't seen what she's got going on lately. I know after the whole, Love and Hilton. Oh, I got you. See, that's how far I missed it. I know after the trash strike, a lot of the attention on Philly had kind of died down. But I know you live in Philly, so you are in the throes of it. So you know what's going on over there in Philadelphia for sure. But make sure you hit that like button if you have not already. I appreciate everybody who's already jumped in with us. We do have a lot of fun stuff. I do have some fun stuff planned. And let me see if Mike is coming in or not. You know, Mike is a community favorite. He has not replied if he's coming. All right. He said he wanted to. So I told him, shot him a text message and the link. All right. It is what it is. But I do want to talk about something else and before we get in. And if y'all want, we can talk about, I do want to look at someone who's discussing Candace as well. I think is be kind of beneficial. But I do want to bring this up to y'all as well. So I've kind of mentioned this on a previous stream or definitely another video, how the audience can help the content creators. And I'll use myself, for example, how you all can help content creators. And there's really just 4 things you can do and they don't cost you anything. And of course, the first one, I'm sure y'all already know, is watch their videos. Watch the whole thing. So if I drop a video that's 8 minutes long, watch the whole 8-minute long video or 12 minutes long. I try to keep them not as long as they used to be. So I try not to drop a lot of 45-minute long videos, 35-minute long videos. Those will be live streams. But I do my best to get down to the salient points and try to keep them south of 15 minutes. Every now and then there's one that's longer. But I just did one this morning that was a little bit longer than 15. But you got my point. Just watch the video. That would be a great way to help your favorite content creator, myself, or anyone else. West Virginia Wire, just watch their video, but then in its entirety. But then also like the video, because if you watch the video, that tells the algorithm that something is on. Like people are watching this video. Okay, so that's a great way to get it. Next is to like the video. So that tells the algorithm that, hey, whatever that person saw on that screen, they were willing to click the like button. Okay. So watch it, like it. But then lastly, and those two things can be done kind of automatically. So, you could just have it on screen and a bot can hit the like button. So what's the next one? Is actually commenting. I've said this before, and I kind of made a messed up before. Don't just comment with an emoji. And I've told people to do that. Don't just comment with an emoji, but actually write something meaningful in the chat or in the comment. It doesn't have to be a long epistle. It could be something meaningful or even something that keeps the conversation going. But a meaningful conversation sets you apart from just a screen that's playing or a bot that's liking a real bona fide comment. And, 3 or 4 good sentences is fantastic. So you watch the video in its entirety, you like the video, you commented something meaningful, whether it be you starting a conversation, you stirring up the pot or whatever that nature. But then the last thing is to share. If you share a video, it helps out a whole lot. All this tells YouTube that the content creator is adding value to some way, shape, or form. The content creator is putting something out there that people enjoy. The content creator is putting out something that people find meaningful. And maybe you should continue to promote this type of content. That's what it tells the algorithm. So I always tell people, going back to likes, it's really good when we have 2,000 people that watch this live stream, 200 likes. Now, of course, I'd love to have 100 likes, right? I mean, 100% likes, but 200 likes. And if we try to shoot at about 10%, that's fantastic. Now, 100% would be absolutely amazing. And I know some content creators, shout out the lead, like to have that 50% ratio. And there's a good reason for that. In a live stream like this, we can try to get that 50% ratio or even 100% ratio. We only got 20 people watching at the current moment. So 100% would be reasonable. But on a video, sometimes it's not that reasonable to get that call to action and get people to actually hit the like button. So about 10% is a great threshold. So if you want to help your favorite content creators, just watch their videos. You can watch it and play it in the background, then run over there, hit the like button, and then later on add a good comment and maybe share it on your X account or share it on Facebook or share it with some friends in a group chat or something of that nature. It helps out a whole lot. It means a lot to content creators. It doesn't cost you anything. And it's just a great way to keep helping people become better, because the more opportunities we have to get our content out, the more opportunities we have to get better at the content. So if I have 100,000 people watch this video, I'm gonna have a whole bunch of comments. A lot of people are going to say, "Hey, Jason, I can hear one of your kids in the kitchen making noise." Or, "Hey, Jason," those kind of things like that. Those little small things like that really do help us make better content for you all. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. But I got Miss Independent in the building. Hey, everybody. Good to see you, sis. And the future's in the house. You get bonus points for that hat. I'm working on it. I was trying to find a Duke Dad hat, and I couldn't find one. So I'm trying. You can relieve me next week. So I'm trying to get myself together. Who else I got up in here? I see Amethyst. I see Future in the building. Thank you so much for dropping that in there. Thank you so much, Future. I really do appreciate you. I see Miss Independent in the house. Absolutely. Let's see what we got. Lots of good. Actually, rewind 15, 16 minutes. What happened? Oh. Did you ever say why you changed the name of your channel? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I did. Literally just went over it, but I'll do it again. In short, I just felt like the channel, the name Dear World Christian, had kind of run its course. It was definitely there for a reason. And I feel like that reason had kind of run its course. And I wasn't really talking about sermon reviews. I really wasn't doing woke sermons and woke preachers as much as I was doing political conversation and social commentary. So I felt like, hey, the name didn't really match the content, and people might not come to this content for this type of come to this channel for this type of content because they see the name and they think and know that what I used to talk about was this, and I might need to move in a different direction. So that's how we got here. So if that's a quick summary of it. But I did put it in there. I did say earlier, and I'll probably just maybe clip it out and make a video out of it and add it to the since I have a playlist about the original name. What we got here? Sorry about this. All right. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Okay, so let's get at it. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Again, thank y'all so much for jumping to the best live chat. I might come back to doing Sunday live chats or live discussions. If y'all do have questions, feel free to put it in the chat, and I just add a question mark. Let me see if I got it right here. I do have it. You can put a green emoji in front of it, or you can put a capital Q or the word question, anything like that. It'll jump out. That'll make it stand out to me. Did you see a second New Orleans inmate was released by accident? Yes, I did. Shout out to Marshall the Plug. He sent me that, and I really hate to say, I was on my way to a father's event, and I read it, and I was like, man, this is crazy. Let me talk about this when I get home. I forgot about it. And he literally reached out to me today about it. I said, hey, did you see that? But let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. Shout out. If you have a question, just put a green heart in front of it or an emoji in front of it, something like that, so it kind of stands out. It is straight madness, but it's really just a failure of leadership. And I think we need to have that conversation, an honest conversation about our elected officials and their leadership, of whatever their political stripe is, whatever their racial hue is, whatever their gender is. We need to have a real, honest, truthful conversation about leadership and failure in leadership. And it's okay to say, hey, you're not a good leader. We need somebody else maybe that doesn't look like you. You're not leading us properly. We need somebody else that's not the same gender as you. That's not relevant. Your externals are not the reason why you're a bad leader. It's your character. It's your internals that are not good leadership qualities. I think they just need to say that. Because like Sheriff Sutton in New Orleans is getting shellacked as it relates to her her bringing in donations for her campaign. Like, it's something pitiful. Like, girl, just give it up. Just let it go. Okay, make this the question standard. Okay, well, there you go. Amethyst has just said it. So make the green heart the standard. Green hearts are the standard. Put a green heart in the chat and your question. There you go. They're not doing the work. And I think that's where, honestly, Miss Independent, we need to have an honest conversation. It doesn't need to go around, centered around gender. It doesn't need to center around sexual preference. It doesn't need to center around ethnicity. It's just the fact that, man, you're doing a poor job. You're doing a poor job. And anybody who can do a better job is up for discussion. That's just it. Let's just be honest. What's going on? I just spoke Marshall up, man. I just spoke you into existence, brother. We do need to define the word leader. I think we also need to define what is their actual role and responsibilities. I think the people need to start putting in some checks and balances, some better stopgaps as it relates to some of our leaders, because it doesn't make sense. Like, you should not be able to be in leadership and fleece the people for $300,000 as it relates to your security detail while you're failing in all these other areas. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. What does Amy say here? Amy says this: communities need to start being more engaged in municipal elections and worry less about federal stuff. Full stop. We have municipal elections coming up, and some don't even know what I'm talking about. I hope you're not here in Georgia talking about me, because I don't think I know what the elections coming up are. And I'm over here talking trash. So you are 1,000% correct, Amy. You are absolutely on the money. And I'm guilty as charged. My name is Jason. I'm guilty as charged. And I'm going to give you something to drink. I have no idea where the straw went. Oh, good. Woo. Oh, good. At least I don't feel too guilty now. According to Simon Sinek, a great leader can say 3 things with humility: I was wrong, I don't know, I need help. Where's the lie? Yeah, you don't see that. You don't see that often. You might see one like I need help. I think of them all, the third one, I need help, is probably because I can still need help on something I'm wrong at. I can still need help and I can hide the fact that I don't know what I'm doing. So I try to get you to come on board to help me. But really, you're really augmenting the fact that I don't know what the world I'm doing. That's just my little 2 cents. But I love it. Thank you so much. That's a great, great quote. I need to show up more. I do need to show up more. So I will take Amy's admonishment. Y'all get out there and get involved in your local elections. And we all know it. We all know it. But we got to get more involved in it. We got to let our voices be heard and such like that. We just had the clerk here in Cobb County where I live. Earlier, she was collecting, what was it? The passports? Okay, so I have a video about it. So the young lady that collects the county clerk. Where's the video? I just did it yesterday. Yeah, here it is right here. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it. Y'all just make sure y'all watch it when I drop it tomorrow too. All right. Let me see. I dropped it the other day. Y'all did watch it. Okay, there we go. Okay. So one of the county clerks here in Cobb County, she was collecting. So apparently, this is such a weird thing. I don't know why we do this. Some counties allow like the judges to collect the marriage license fee or of course passports and other things. Like why don't you just pay them enough and don't do that? Because it just seems like there's a level of dishonesty that that's going to invite. Well, nonetheless, it did. So this young lady here in Cobb County, where I live, shout out to Cobb County. Shout out to Cobb County. No, it's not deadly shooting. But he was collecting not only the passport fee, but in order to expedite and ship it out to you, if you've ever collected your passport, it's a stressful situation. I don't know why people don't go to the post office though. The post office, they don't do a lot of things right. They get a lot of heat. But I've had no problems getting my passport with the post office. They've been very, very judicious, very quick. And I don't think we had a passport fee, but I digress. So here in Cobb County, you can get your passport at the post office or the county clerk. County clerk was collecting the passport fee is like $25 or $36, right? But then there's a shipping fee that she was collecting. So she was basically getting like $60 per passport. She was somewhere in the range of like $400,000. I don't know how many people get their passports like that. That's crazy. Here, let me let y'all see it. But anyway, she was indicted because instead of when the Freedom of Information Act came out on this and people want to see how much she was getting paid, she was running it through the Shredder 2000. Instead of giving the people the information, she was doing a Hillary Clinton and hitting delete on the system so people couldn't find out how much she was making. So, of course, she got indicted. Green hearts in the chat.
Cobb County Superior Court Clerk Connie Taylor has been indicted on charges of destroying public records and violating her oath of office. The state attorney general's office says Taylor directed an employee to delete government emails and financial records in response to an open records request.
Hey, everybody, grace and peace. We are back. And we got a story. We got a follow-up to a story that we did about 2 weeks ago, back around July 12th, July 11th. I did a video about the Cobb County clerk who was collecting the passport fees. And just in case you forgot, let me just bring it back in very quickly because we have some new updates. So let me bring this in right here. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, if you're in Cobb County, listen up. Right now, the Superior Court Clerk for Cobb County is expected to return nearly $84,000 in passport shipping fees. A state law allows Clerk Connie Taylor to keep a $35 fee for personal income when processing passport applications. However, this does not include a $24 shipping fee. A review of passport-related revenue collection from 2021 and 2022 found that shipping fees were also taken in error to the tune of more than $83,000. Well, an item on the Cobb Board of Commissioners meeting agenda for next Tuesday indicates Taylor will return those funds to the county.
Okay, so now some new developments have happened as it relates to this young lady and passports and documents and records, all that kind of stuff like that. It never fails. It never fails that you're going to get somebody doing something wrong when it comes to records. I don't know what the problem is. I really, truly don't. It just seems like such a low-hanging fruit way to get in trouble. Let me say it like that. Public records, man, you just got to give them up. You just got to give them up. Whether you want to or not, whether they're favorable or not, you just got to give up the public records. Okay, so what happened with the young lady now, with Connie Taylor? Well, let's find out.
Elected official is accused of deleting government emails and financial records. Grand jury indicted the Cobb County Superior Court clerk this morning. We broke this story on WSBTV.com and Channel 2 Action News at noon. Channel 2 Cobb County Bureau Chief Michelle Newell is live at the courthouse. Michelle, you've been working to reach the clerk all day.
And Karen, I also tried to contact her attorney. I was able to get in touch with a representative from the clerk's office. And this is the indictment that was brought down this morning. We're told the GBI is the lead on this investigation. Connie Taylor has served Cobb County as an elected official since 2020.
State your name. Connie Taylor.
Taylor is now accused of violating the oath she took as the Cobb County Superior Court clerk.
The indictment charges Connie Taylor with the offense of destruction of public records. Count 3 is violation of oath of office. Count 4 is a violation of oath of office.
The Georgia Attorney General filed those charges after a GBI investigation into what Taylor allegedly did in response to an open records request in 2022. In this 5-page indictment, Taylor is accused of ordering an employee to delete a folder that obtained records fees from passport services. She's accused of telling the same employee to delete an email related to passport revenue. I stopped by Taylor's office to get her response. The chief deputy clerk met me instead. Where is Connie Taylor now?
She's unavailable.
Okay. How can we get in touch with her?
I don't have that information now. I can give it to you shortly.
And she's still working here?
Absolutely. No impact to our office. We're open in normal business hours.
Cobb County judges and the district attorney have recused themselves from this case. Now, earlier this year, Taylor agreed to pay more than $80,000 in passport shipping fees that she collected during her first 2 years in office. Reporting live from Cobb County, Michelle Newell, Channel 2 Action News.
That is absolutely crazy. So she was collecting, for whatever reason, here in Cobb County, you're able to collect, the chief clerk is able to collect the passport fee as part of their salary. But then there is this shipping fee to expedite, get your passport shipped out, that is $24. She wasn't supposed to collect that money as well. So she was getting a 35 plus the 24-ish, whatever. So we're looking at somewhere in the range of about $60 per passport. And I didn't know this was a thing. Like, this is a hustle. So she was supposed to return that money, but lo and behold, she was destroying the records that she was supposed to be using, or rather that was being requested in Open's records request. Like I said, Open's records request is almost a guaranteed slam dunk to get you in trouble. Open records is just like a bear's claw, like just real quick. I got another real quick one to bring in here, and we'll look at it, and then I want to hear what you all think about this, because this is an absolutely wild story. Let's bring it in.
I'm looking at myself. It's crazy. A grand jury has indicted Cobb County Superior Court clerk Connie Taylor on charges that she deleted. Cobb County elected official is in hot water tonight. A grand jury has indicted Cobb County Superior Court clerk Connie Taylor on charges that she deleted public records and violated her oath of office. Our side's Denise Dillon is live in Cobb County tonight. Denise, this indictment came down earlier today.
Yes, it did. And those charges against Connie Taylor are felonies. This comes after an investigation by the GBI that lasted more than 2 years. The GBI started investigating Taylor in 2022 after an employee was ordered to destroy records related to $400,000 that Taylor collected in passport fees. The GBI's findings were turned over to the state attorney general in 2024, and today Taylor was indicted. In a statement, GBI Director Chris Hosey said, "The intentional destruction of public records is a serious offense that undermines transparency and public trust." Attorney General Chris Carr said, "Any attempt to conceal or destroy government records are serious allegations that cannot be ignored, and those responsible will be held accountable." Taylor was first elected as Cobb County Superior Court clerk in 2020. She was reelected in 2024. Reporting live in Cobb County, Denise Dillon, Fox 5 News.
Denise, thanks.
All right. Yo, this is crazy. So now these are felonies, man. She is going to be potentially a felon. This is craziness, man. Man, again, open records, just give them up. Just give them up. That's what I'm learning. And don't do things that you don't want the open records to come back and get you. Don't be sending out the emails. Don't be doing the keying in the text message. And definitely unequivocally, don't be destroying records about how much money you've been bringing in. Good gracious. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you so much for rocking with us and for your support of the channel. I'll see you down in the comments. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace. All right. So, hold on. All right. That was my response, or what's going on here. And apparently this is commonplace. If you go to get married at the courthouse, there is a fee that you pay. That fee goes to the chief judge. It doesn't just go into the coffers of your county. It goes to the chief judge. That's a part of his or her salary. I want to say if you have non-hospital birth, you have to report the birth at the courthouse. That birth certificate and that registering your birth of a child, maybe at a home birth or a midwife or a doula center or whatever like that, and it wasn't at a particular hospital where the birth actually happened, that fee too. So it's wow. I did not know that this money. I just thought the money went to the county, not to the county clerk or to the chief judge or whomever like that. So it was pretty wild. But if you look around, you'd be surprised. This stuff happens a lot. So I do think it kind of feeds into that false narrative, like that police give tickets because they get paid based upon tickets. I do think it kind of feeds into that. I don't believe that's true about police, by the way. However, I kind of know where they get it from because there's so many of these situations where people are compensated because of something that you have to pay. And part of their compensation, their salary, their income is derived from you paying this fee or you paying this bill or this ticket. Kind of crazy though, right? All right, what do we got here? Yeah, Carl, you are 100% correct. Carl said, hold on. Carl was calling out, hey, I don't know why we have a really good post office about 3 miles from Whitaker Park. I don't know. Hey, I know post offices are not known to be good places, but that one, because we've gotten our passports there several times and it's been quick and no problems at all. We schedule the appointment, you go, you take the picture, you look mean, and that's it. As a matter of fact, I think we went and got our pictures taken. Actually, yeah. So we went and got our pictures taken at Walgreens and brought all this stuff. They stamped it and approved it and went with it. So it was super fast. So we actually didn't have to take our pictures that time. The most recent time, sorry. I saw something that was funny that you said. What did you say? Oh, here he goes right here. Wow. That's a lot of money she got away with. I'm trying to tell you. Oh, here it is right here. There's always something going on in ATL. Man, Carl, don't hold it against us, brother. We're trying our best over here. We're trying to be right. This is hard, man. The game just keeps calling us back, man. Atlanta just won't. Atlanta just keeps Atlanta in. That's why early on I used to say Atlanta must be stopped. And it's true. All right, let's go. I bet she's friends with Fonnie. We're not going to talk about that. She is whom we do not mention. But it's very possible, though. All this scamming everywhere you turn. It's super frustrating. Miss Independent, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you all the way. Am independent. Indie content creator will pin her down before any MS. Wait, what are you talking about? What you talking about? NYPD used to have a quota system for. See, that's what I'm saying. Like I've heard that before. I don't know if it's true. I don't know. When I heard it, I was here in Atlanta. I was already living here in Atlanta. But if it is something that is abroad, then I can kind of understand it. But those are kind of things that happen. Like why? Well, I will say this though. Let's talk about this for a quick second. Having spent an inordinate amount of time watching body cam footage, even if the police officer is dead to rights at pulling you over, I'm understanding you have a much better chance being amicable, giving the officer everything they asked for, and keeping your mouth closed. And we had the fit lawyer come on the channel one time, and she said her motto is shut up and enjoy the ride, or take the ride. Sorry, shut up and take the ride. Don't fuss with them. Don't argue with them. Don't give me your badge number. I want your supervisor. Let go of me. None of that stuff's going to change anything. You still are going to jail. But if it's something simple like a traffic stop, and they say, hey, I saw you blaze through this stop sign. And you might think, nah, I really didn't do that. But just take it. And be quiet. You fight it out in court. You do not fight it out on the side of the road. And so that's just my little 2 cents. So even if they did have a quota per se, they still will lose if I go to court and say, well, Your Honor, here's my dashboard cam. You see that I stopped. You see I looked both ways. The officer said I ran the light or ran the stop sign. That's not true. They're getting thrown out. So you're much better off just letting it ride and fight it out in court. That's just my little observation. But roadside courtrooms never work out well. That's something I can guarantee you unequivocally. I've never seen somebody argue their way out of a ticket. Never. I did see somebody get themselves out of a repossession, which was kind of weird. But I think that the guy was just being entirely too kind. But that's just my little 2 cents. That's my little quick PSA there. No arguing on the side of the road. Argue in the courtroom. There you go. What's going on, Peach? Just me? Who's DWC? I don't know who DWC is. Who's that? We might need it. Oh, you know what? My little logo is not on the bottom down here. All right. There we go. Why is it not showing up, though? Because reason? I have no idea why it's not showing up. Oh, well. Leave it alone, Jason. I said leave it alone, and I'm still messing with it. See, hard head. Leave it alone. All right. Well, let's talk about it, y'all. Y'all know I've enjoyed talking about Candace. And I admit I have not watched all of Candace's videos on becoming Brigitte. And lots of people, oh my word, lots of people have been coming in my chat saying, well, if you don't watch that, then you can't have a comment. You can't have a comment on it. This, that, and the other. You got to watch the whole thing. I'm not going to invest that amount of time in it. I'm just not. I keep telling you, I'm going to react when she responds to the lawsuit from the Macrons. Because in my opinion, that's going to be the most salient points of her argument. So there's not going to be a whole bunch of conjecture. I feel like, and this, that, and the third, and no commercial breaks. It's going to be the main points, answering the response from the Macrons. Did you get a takedown from the Macrons in November? Yes or no? I did not. Did you get one in December? I did not. Did you get one in, I think it was February? I did not. Okay, there we go. Let's take it to court. But one of the things that people have been, everybody who's watched Candace's 8-part series on Brigitte said that it was really convincing and blah, 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 blah. And I said, okay, well, fine. I'm glad it was convincing to you. My only problem still is the information you can convince me that there are a race of robots on a planet called Cybertron that transform into various and different things. It can sound very compelling. It can sound super compelling, but it's not real. So just because something sounds convincing or comes across as very academic, which again, I'm not mad. I don't think Candace is a lunkhead at all. I just don't think that. I think she does, in fact, position herself as she's got some delusions of grandeur. Let me just say it like that. Because I was watching today another clip of hers, and I was like, wait. You're fighting on behalf of the world? Man, what are you talking about? So what I want to do is there's a young man. I've brought him on the show before. Shout out to Poetic Flacco. He watched Candace's video, the whole series, and he felt that it was super compelling. He felt that she made a great argument for what it was that she was trying to promote. However, he doesn't believe that she's right. And now I think he gets away with it. I'm gonna let him have it because they all said I couldn't speak on it because I did not watch it. So because I didn't watch it, I couldn't speak on it, whatever. But what Flacco did. And so what I want to do is I want to, let me shout out real quick. Thank you so much, Amethyst Angel, for being a member for 14 months. Let me go ahead and drop some more memberships out there for that. That's Amethyst Angel. I propose that Crazy Candace got crazier after her first child went off the chart after her second. Her hormones are not balanced. See documented cases. I don't disagree with that. I think, well, let me tell you. Okay, I'm gonna bring Poetic Flacco in here. Okay, let me tell you what I think the problem is with Candace. And again, I'm not besmirching. I'm not saying that she's not an intelligent woman or anything of that nature. Candace Owens, let me big screen myself. Candace Owens is 100% the example of a Christless conservatism. You can be against a lot of the things that the woke society was for, the alphabet mafia, the nose ring crew, the blue hair, pistachio, whatevers. You could be against that and not have a religious mooring to hold you down. You can just say, hey, that's wrong. That's traditional marriage is right. But I'm over here doing things that are wrong. And you don't have a mooring. And I truly believe in my heart of hearts that Candace has that problem. It's a Christless conservatism. You can be against the deletion of babies, but still be doing things that cause babies to be conceived without a strong family. Like you can still, those two things can still exist. And still just say, well, I don't want babies deleted in the womb, but I'm over here tricking it off every weekend at Clapathon Tech or wherever. Right? And I truly believe that. The other problem I think with Candace, and I know this is going to get some people mad, so I understand. Please let me know in the chat if you're mad. Feel free. Come on up here to the front of the church. Candace Owens has Dunning-Kruger effect on steroids. She's got a big old Godzilla-sized Dunning-Kruger effect. And Dunning-Kruger is basically the idea of when you learn a little bit of information and you position yourself like an expert in said little bit of information. And I'm sorry, she does it all the time. Or when she converted, quote unquote, to becoming a Protestant, and then when she converted to Catholicism, those transitional phases was like 2 weeks and 8 days. right? It was terrible, but in 8 hours, it was horrible. But even more than that, she knew nothing. She knows nothing about the Christian faith. She knows nothing about why I am a Protestant and not a Catholic. And she has no understanding of that. But she positions herself like she's an expert in Christian ethics and blah, blah, blah. She can talk to the 304s and call them. And that's true. You can see the errors in OF content, but you yourself can still be involved in it. And there not be any mooring. That's what I'm saying. She has a Christless conservatism, and she has Dunning-Kruger effect on steroids. You got big old kaiju-sized Dunning-Kruger effect. It is marching around here, banging around, and she doesn't really know what she's doing. So, and the super last thing, and it kind of goes to the first one, she's kind of prone and given over to conspiracies. She's kind of prone to them. Again, y'all know I like a good look. Hey, every now and then I got a little bit of tinfoil in my hat too. I think they're kind of fun. You can give me a little conspiracy. I think Marshall and I have batted around some. I know some other content creators. We bat them around. They're fun. We have a good laugh, and then we move on. You don't see me building a platform or making it a big deal. Some of the crazy ideas that I've come up with, and so I do believe that Candace is one. She has a Christless conservatism. That's how she can still rock with Kanye West. That's how she can still mess with Andrew Tate. That's where she can still be okay with Nick Fuentes and not give these people the gospel because she herself doesn't know it. But then second, she has Dunning-Kruger effect on steroids. She's got Galactus-size Dunning-Kruger effect. She learns a little bit and she runs off like she's an expert on it. And she goes around people that don't know anything, and they look up and they're like, oh, you're so smart. But really, at the end of the day, she don't know any more than you. And then lastly, she's kind of prone to conspiracies. She's kind of prone to them. And again, I like a good conspiracy every now and then. I like a good little, hey, let's talk about that for a second. And we just kind of chop it up, and then it's over. If anybody's ever heard me rant about movies, hey, man, I can get into a good comic book rant. I can talk about some Big Green Egg. I can talk about some other topics that I'm really passionate about. We can get into some deep weeds, all that kind of stuff like that. And now we're going to go back to life as normal. Got to go to work. Got to go do real things. Can't sit right here. But no, I think she's given over to conspiracies. And rather than, and again, her conspiracies are not, and the things that come into Candace's mind are not filtered through the reality and truth of Scripture. So she can say something way out of pocket, way out of left field, and not have any kind of mooring to it at all, and will literally change. Because we're going to watch this young man who literally calls out, and I said this in my own discussion, she contradicts herself a lot because it's not really moored to anything. It's, what? You say this? Well, now I'm going to go this way. What is this? I'm going to say something different. And she's all over the place. I know some people be mad, jump into the best live chat on the planet, jump into the best comment section. Absolutely. But it's still going to be true. Show me. I'll put the bounty out there. And she put the bounty out there saying I got paid. I'm getting paid to smear her. No, I think she's a fairly intelligent woman, but she has blind spots. Show me Candace Owens giving a gospel presentation to somebody that is in sin, whether it be an OnlyFans model, a racist, anything of that nature. Show me her giving the gospel to anybody. I'll wait. Show me the time clock for how long she's been a Christian. And then lastly, just do Candace Owens conspiracies on ChatGPT. You might be surprised. Okay. She's giving over to them. And there's nothing to filter them through the scripture. Like, hold on, wait up. Let me, this is crazy. Let me filter this through the scriptures. And again, I like look, I'm with you. I like I enjoy them. They're fun sometimes. I got my little tinfoil hat. I get my tinfoil bonnet on. Absolutely. But it's it only goes so far though. And that's it. And my family knows, like, hey, we're just having a good old time. We're just shooting the breeze. The girls and I will have some conspiracies, on our way driving to Dunkin' Donuts to get that summer refresher. On our way to Dunkin' Donuts. And by the time we get there, we're done. We're not going to live in it. That's the problem. Like most of these conspiracies, I think Candace actually lives in. And this is one I think she lives in. Hence why she's there. Okay, so that's my little 2 cents. Shout out to everybody that's mad in the chat. Okay. What am I saying? Jason, you are speaking in 3-snap Z formation. Think back to living color. Oh my gosh. I can't, as a married man, I can't do that. But I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I did with my finger. There you go. I know what you're talking about. But I'm save all this, Chicky Brewer. Save this till the end. I'm gonna bring out my tinfoil hat. I'm gonna grab me a tinfoil hat. I got a feeling. We're gonna watch it. Let's watch this. Let's watch Poetic Flacco. Shout out to Poetic Flacco. Great content creator. Does some great. I feel like he does some pretty reasonable and balanced commentary, which I believe is what a lot of the time we lack. And I'm biased a lot of the times. I'll be honest. I ain't gonna lie. I'm biased about stuff. So I wanted to hear him because I know he tries to be pretty fair, if you will, kind of like Nate, kind of like Hannibal is hungry. I feel like they are definitely willing to give everybody a fair chance. I don't think I'm necessarily guilty of that. I don't think those charges will stick on me. But let's just check this out, y'all. Let's go. Green hearts in the chat where you can hear.
Candace Owens is in a world of trouble, I fear. These new updates may bankrupt her and potentially end her show that she's been doing on YouTube for the last decade. So Candace has been involved in this ongoing feud with the president of France and his wife, Brigitte, where Candace is accusing Brigitte of being born a man and then transitioning to a woman after the first 30 years of her life. She would claim there's no record of Brigitte Macron ever existing. And she would also show like childhood pictures of what would be Brigitte's brother, but Candace would claim that the brother is actually her as a child. So the theory is as follows. The little boy on your far left, Jean-Michel, Candace would claim that Jean-Michel is actually Brigitte. And for the first 30 years of Brigitte's life, she was actually Jean-Michel. And then she transitioned to Brigitte, and then all traces of Jean-Michel disappeared. That there's no trace of Jean-Michel after the first 30 years of his life, right when Brigitte transitioned. The issues involving Brigitte Macron and the president of France extend far beyond whatever gender this person is. She met the president of France when he was 14 and she was 40 and she was his teacher. And they began an intimate relationship and ultimately got married. I feel like that should be the story. Like, that's what we should be focused on. Not this other guess who mystery gender reveal, bro. To me, I don't care nothing about that. But Candace Owens.
I agree. And I've said this. So let it be known, let it be said. I've said that. The biggest issue is that she was 40, he was 15. That has got to be the news flash of the day. I don't think truly and that's what I'm saying. I think where Candace is missing the plot is arguing about whether or not Macron, the female Macron is a male for Macron is not the issue. The issue is what we know. He's 15, he was 15, she was 40. That is the problem.
Would be adamant about the theory, even though it sounds pretty wacky and kind of almost impossible to pull off.
Time for you to wake up. So we will start from the top here with a photo of Brigitte Macron. Real name, Jean-Michel Trogneux. That person that you are looking at on the right is not a woman. Okay, here is a photo, by the way. Just over the years, Jean-Michel Trogneux, as he became Brigitte, as I said, the evidence for this is overwhelming. That second photo, I believe they found a photo of him at a pride parade when he was just living as a homosexual man. That next photo is when the transition began, if I recall correctly, and that's a photo from the professor years. And the professor years of Brigitte Macron is when he statutorily Emmanuel Macron. Those are not the prerequisites, by the way. Like to becoming a leader of a world country, you got to like be in drama class, like Zelensky. You got to be a homosexual, like a lot of them tend to be. And are the new prerequisites that you need to have something in your closet like this, and the entire state is going to work feverishly to protect the secret?
Candace Owens is one of the best at what she does. I watched Becoming Brigitte every episode, and it was very convincing. And because it was very convincing, this made world news. Everybody was sold, I believe, bro. Most people watched that Candace Owens Becoming Brigitte series, and they were sold because it was just too many mystery, too many flaws, too many holes. It just didn't make sense. And because the world was convinced, it was heaping a lot of pressure on the president of France and Brigitte. And they were very concerned. So they even stepped in and tried to get Donald Trump to tell Candace Owens to knock it off. and stop calling Brigitte a man because she was born a woman. And Donald Trump tapped in. Donald Trump tried to get her to back off, but it didn't work.
Something happened all the way back in February, and I was sworn to secrecy temporarily. And I feel that today is the correct day to inform audiences because it may have some severe global implications. So here is what happened. All right.
Okay. All right. Because I don't know if we played this full clip, but I just want to point out something here. Listen to the self-importance that this woman presents. What she's about to tell you has global. That means all 8 billion people on the planet impact level. Global. 2 world leaders are reaching out to her about what she's saying on her podcast. I'm not saying she's lying either, but I'm just saying like the self-importance is pretty staggering. But watch this. Let's go.
Temporarily. And I feel that today is the correct day to inform audiences because it may have some severe global implications. So here is what happened. All right. I realize that Emmanuel Macron is in Washington, D.C., February 24th. He is in Washington, D.C., and he had departed the White House just hours before I received the call. When I call that person back, they tell me something that is even stranger. Emmanuel Macron is holding up negotiations to end the Russian and Ukrainian war unless you stop speaking about his wife. And I'm just going, what? And I get another message that's like, hey, keep your phone on. And anyways, this phone call is coming from Florida. I pick up the phone and lo and behold, so here's what happened. I'm negotiating this thing. I'm negotiating Ukraine and Russia. And you wouldn't believe how many parts are part. It is President Donald J. Trump. He is calling me. And in true President Trump fashion, he jumps right into the narrative.
I'm not here to call Candace Owens a liar, all right? Because I actually like Candace Owens. But one would say if the president is contacting you to let you know, hey, man, I know them, bro. Like, that's a woman, Candace. Can you chill, man? It's causing them great grief. There probably would have been a time to kind of step back from off the ledge and use that as an excuse. Hey, man, the president want me to stop people. I'm going to stop. If their lawyers are sending you legal notices, so your lawyer, and they're sending you some proof saying this is not enough proof, I feel like the president, her proof, you know what, let me step back from off the ledge, okay? This is really not worth me risking my entire career and professional reputation on the line for. But Candace Owens kept going. So eventually the president and Brigitte, they filed an official lawsuit and sent Candace Owens a notice that they'll be suing her. That didn't scare Candace Owens, and she still didn't back down. As a matter of fact, Candace Owens doubled down some more and came back on YouTube to say that she's 100% sure that Brigitte was born Jean-Michel.
You were born a man and you will die a man. That's the point I'm making. So give us a sample. I'll send my doctors to take your blood, figure it out real quick, however you want to go about this. Hey, how about just giving us some pictures again of you growing up, raising your children? That would be fine. For whatever reason to phone, by the way, like I said, we'll get to the bottom of it. All right, that is what discovery is for. I'm going to ask a lot of questions. You're probably hoping, this will go away and at least we'll say we sued her. We'll say we went after her. She'll probably file for this to get dismissed. I'd like to make it to discovery. I think that we owe that to the world. Anyways, you guys, we are revolting against this. We're revolting against the perverts that run the world. And I want to be very clear here. I count you among them. I think you're sick. I think you're disgusting. And I am fully prepared to take on this battle on behalf of the entire world. Okay? That's what I'm going to say. On behalf of the entire world, I will see you in court.
My approach has always been when it comes to accusations, trust me,
Sorry about that.
relied on.
Boy, is that not a little bit grandiose? Like, I'm taking this on behalf of the whole world. I don't know how, again, I do think that there's some griminess going on. So I'm not making light of that. But how does my day change or made better or worse by knowing or not knowing whether or not Lady Macron has a Johnson? I don't know how that works. And again, I think it's interesting, and I brought this up earlier, like Candace has no redemptive plan for the Macrons. Because if you go back and listen to what she said, you are going to die a man. You are a man, you're going to die a man. Where's that little clip right here? And I just think it's interesting because, like, if you just remove the word man and say sinner and ask yourself, where is Candace's redemption for them? You are a sinner and you're going to die a sinner. Do you care, Candace, at all? And I do think this is a big issue. This is not just a preferential issue that you don't have to bring up Jesus Christ in or salvation. You're talking about people that are hurting and harming children for their own perverted, demented, passions. That's a big deal. And you don't see necessary at all, Candace, to bring the gospel to bear? Because that's ultimately what's going to repair and fix the wicked, evil hearts of these people that you're calling out. But you don't seem to know or care that that's the case. Do you not know this, Candace? I'm just wondering. I'm going to bring it back in. I think I backed up to that part. Let's try it again.
You were born a man and you will die a man.
Like, okay. Do you care, Candace, that he is born a sinner and he's going to die a sinner? Because that's what it is. That's what the issue is at the plate, is that these people are sinners. And they do. I mean, we're all sinners. We all do sinful things because we are sinners. And where's your concern, care, or any kind of at all empathy about the fact that these people are lost and they're going to miss Christ? They're going to bust hell wide open. Do you care at all about that, Candace? At all? And again, yeah, she's doing this on behalf of the world. Like, again, there's some grandiose language here that just doesn't seem to make sense to me. I'm doing this for the world. We're sick and tired of you. Who's the we? I'm sick and tired of my sin. I'm at war with my own sin on a daily basis. Every morning I suit up and boot up to fight against my own sinful nature. I am not worried about the Macrons. I just learned how to pronounce it correctly. I'm not losing sleep over them, Candace. Why are you losing sleep over these people? Okay. It just seems a little bit extra. Okay, let's go. Let's keep it dancing. Let's go.
That's the point I'm making. So give us a sample. I'll send my doctor to take your blood, figure it out real quick, however you want to go about this. Hey, how about just giving us some pictures again?
I don't want to keep stopping. And I promise, I'm going to give 2 points and I'm out of here. Imagine the chutzpah to tell a first lady, give me some of your blood. That is insane. Or I want to see pictures of you. I need to see pictures of you. Who are you? That's why they suing you. Because you're beside yourself. You honestly think more highly of yourself than you should, Candace. I'm not saying you shouldn't ask questions. I'm not saying that you should not push back against wicked, evil rulers who are hurting children. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, however, is, Candace, come on. You really think these people are, oh, well, Candace said it. Hey, look, here, come on, get some of his blood and send it to Candace. Who are you? Who are you? That's what they're saying. They're asking you, who are you? And again, let me just add this last caveat. I'm not saying that the Macrons are perfect. I believe there's some shady, nasty dealings going on with them. But Candace, please.
And of you growing up, raising your children, that would be fine. For whatever reason to phone, by the way, like I said, we'll get to the bottom of it, right? That is what discovery is for. I'm going to ask a lot of questions. You're probably hoping, this will go away. And at least we'll say we sued her. We'll say we went after her. She'll probably file for this to get dismissed. I'd like to make it to discovery. I think that we owe that to the world. Anyways, you guys, we are revolting against this. We're revolting against the perverts that run the world. And I want to be very clear here. I count you among them. I think you're sick. I think you're disgusting. And I am fully prepared to take on this battle on behalf of the entire world. Okay? That's what I'm going to say. On behalf of the entire world, I will see you in court.
My approach has always been, when it comes to accusations, trust me, I've been lied on plenty on YouTube. These dudes literally created think pieces and videos accusing me of being on the offender registry. And then once it was proven that I wasn't on the offender registry, and I've never had a federal case, I've never been in prison, I'm not a career criminal, it's just a lie. They then said, I never accused you of being on the registry. I just asked, who's this guy called David Johnson? What? Excuse me? So as somebody who's been on the receiving end of just straight up lies and defamation, which, by the way, I'm still pursuing. It's
get him,
far from
Flacco.
over, because I'm gonna get my revenge. You feel me? No, they're gonna have to pay for lying on me. I've always been on the side of is on the person who's making the accusations to prove it. It's on the person who's making the accusation to prove that whatever they're saying is true. So if Ken is only saying, give me blood DNA to prove that you're not this, that's not really how it works. You're supposed to prove this person is that, right? It's on you. And if you can't, well, now you open yourself up for defamation. So Steven Crowder, though, would actually, well, he hates Candace Owens, so take whatever Steven Crowder is saying with a grain of salt. But Steven Crowder would make a video where he says that they actually provided Candace Owens with plenty proof that Brigitte was not born Jean Macron.
Doctors to take your blood, figure it out real quick, however you want to go about this. Hey, how about just giving us some pictures again of you growing up, raising your children? That would be fine.
Yeah, so here's the problem. And if you read the entire filing, and I read 100-something pages of it last night, they actually already did directly send proof to Candace, said pictures, childhood pictures of Brigitte. They did send evidence of Brigitte's biological motherhood of 3 children. They did send pictures of her first, of her wedding when she was young. And there already is sworn testimony, for example, from the children and from the, I don't know if sworn testimony, but the previous husband. So she's now moving goalposts and saying, take a blood test. They did also, by the way, send the birth announcement, not a certificate, but an announcement. So newspaper clippings, pictures, sworn testimony, evidence, and this has all been provided to her for a long time. Now, remember, Candace went public and said that President Trump called her and told her to back off Brigitte. The issue is, as always, there's no proof. There's no proof that it happened.
Other than, I don't know, subjecting herself to a striptease, and even that may not be enough, because Candace may say, I don't know, there's gender surgery going on now to where they can remove the bottom half. Other than that, which I don't feel like no first lady will subject herself to being stripped down for somebody to come and verify so Candace Owens' mind can be appeased, or giving her blood to Candace Owens. Like, other than that, I feel like the only other, option is to what? Like, send in, yo, here's the birth records of my kids. Yo, here's, the birth being announced in the newspaper. Yo, I was married before, too. But that still was not enough for Candace Owens. Candace Owens now says she wants blood samples so she could verify that she was born Brigitte Macron and not Jean Michael. Now, the twisty part about this is Jean Michael.
Okay, so real quick. Here's a theory that I have. Shout out to Mark from the Harrisburg campus. Good to see you, brother. Okay, if that were true, that the only way to settle this case is for the Macrons to give up a blood sample, I guess the logical question is, why did they initiate the lawsuit where they're going to have to put up a blood test? Because she's a woman. I mean, unless it is like bona fide crazy, like why would they do that if they know they're going to have to give a blood sample in order to prove defamation? They know she's a woman. But this is going to get interesting. So shout out to Flacco.
Or Jean-Michel, I should say, is actually still alive, right? Like if he's alive, to me, that's the part where you kind of have to hop off the train, because if Jean-Michel could be traced back, it's kind of like, then what are we doing here? You feel me? Like, what are we doing here? Now, I'm not going to go as far as Steven Crowder claiming that Candace Owens may have lied about the Trump thing. I do believe that Trump called her, because if Trump didn't call Candace Owens, Trump would be on Truth Social calling Candace Owens a fat liar. Like, so yeah, I do believe that Trump did tap in, because this was something that the French president really cared about. So after Brigitte Macron apparently proved, because Jean-Michel is also part of the filing, and they actually provided Candace Owens more proof, actually, since the lawsuit, that Brigitte was actually born and she's a real person, and Jean-Michel is another person who's not Brigitte. Candace Owens actually came back with a more humble tone. Now, this is where I looked at this and said, yeah, Candace Owens messed up badly. Candace Owens is now coming back with an alternative theory after discovering that her first theory was wrong, that Brigitte was actually born and is a real person, and Brigitte is a different person from Jean-Michel. Candace Owens is now back with an alternative theory, this time more humble and not as brazen and confident and cocky as she was in her last address to the French president and his wife.
It is very...
Okay, so real quick, because I know I caught a lot of flack because, again, I did not see the Becoming Brigitte expose that Candace did. I said in my video about the dying sister theory that this was a new theory. People in the comments were saying, "Oh no, she said it in the expose." Well, Poetic Flacco, he said he watched it too. Todd from Todd Thinks said he watched it as well. Neither of them said that they saw this or heard this in the initial expose. But then also, doesn't this contradict what she said in the expose? Because remember, there weren't two humans initially. It was one guy that's now pretending to be the female. But now she's saying that the female existed, the guy existed, the guy is known to secure the female's identity. Okay, if you want to believe this and you want to run with this, that's what you're going to run with, and you're okay to do that. But don't be surprised if you're running alone. So watch this and just make sure I got it right.
Very clear that Brigitte Trogneau existed. It's very clear that she was, in fact, the sister of Jean-Michel Trogneau.
That's not what she has been saying, though. And that's the part where I'm saying, like, just let it go. Let it go. I don't think this is going to go as well as she wants it to be. So now she's introducing the dying sister theory. And as far as I know, it was not in her original 8-part. If you watched it, let me know. But Poetic Flacco, Todd thinks both of them watched it. And both of them have said they didn't see this in there. So this is a new theory apart from the 8-part, which was supposed to be a slam dunk, grand slam. Thank you, ma'am. Have a good night. How are we now introducing a new theory?
And I think that if I am guessing what took place here, Jean-Michel Trogneau took Brigitte Trogneau's identity at some point. It's very obvious he kind of becomes his sister. That's what seems to be the most logical conclusion based off of everything. So the question that people ask is, okay, if you're operating under that theory, what happened to the real Brigitte Trogneau? And so if we are to believe that, I do believe that Brigitte Trogneau, the real Brigitte Trogneau existed, it's plausible that Brigitte Trogneau got sick, that the real Brigitte Trogneau got sick and perhaps had a dying wish to help her brother, Jean-Michel Trogneau, who was living perhaps as Veronique, right? And knowing that, okay, well, he's never going to be allowed to live his life authentically. He's always going to be always going to be hiding and doing these sorts of things because this is just not a time where people are recognizing this transgendered identity. Well, what if she gifted her brother her identity? Here, this is not a thing yet. You can just become me. Okay, that's, again, we're surmising. There's no evidence that Brigitte Trogneau died. There's no evidence of that. But that's what it feels like to me. It feels like to me that Brigitte Trogneau did her brother, the real Brigitte Trogneau, did her brother a favor and allowed him to become her.
Now, Candace, you're wrong, man, playing in these folks' faces, man. You foul, bro, playing in these people's faces. Yo, this is the part where Candace just says, hey, bro, I was wrong. I'm sorry. I got it wrong, people. I apologize. But, hey, I asked for proof. She didn't give... But she quite literally proves to you that the theory that Brigitte is not a person, that theory don't exist. That theory was false, and she's providing you proof that I was born a woman, like I'm Brigitte, and you're still saying that you believe that Brigitte died and Jean-Michel took over the identity of when Jean-Michel is apparently still alive. Like, he's just off the grid, feel me? But apparently he could produce himself, and he's 80 years old. Now, this is horrible, man. This is not good at all, man. Yo, and this lawsuit is pushing forward. And this is not a good sign. Once you're already admitting and owning up that, damn, Brigitte is a real person. And you're saying, man, I'm not saying that she died because I don't know. I can't explain it. I can't explain myself at this point. Well, what's going to be explained in court? How much paper you got to give up? How much of this podcast equity you got to give up? They about to do Candace like they did Alex Jones, homie. It's about to be bad. What you mean you can't explain it? It's probably because now, again, I give her credit because I bought it. Like, I believed it probably wholeheartedly. Candace always made a very convincing point, which is...
Okay, so again, this is not somebody who's anti-Candace. So Poetic Flacco is telling you, let me back that up just a second. He is Team Candace. He believed Team Candace, okay, until this happened. So again, this is since I couldn't speak on it according to the Candacites that were in my comment section. I can't speak on it because I didn't watch the 8 hours. I got other things to do in my life expose, but he did. And I'm just running with what he's saying. Let's go.
What you mean you can't explain it? It's probably because we now again, I give her credit because I bought it. Like I believed it probably wholeheartedly. Candace Owens made a very convincing point, which is why she'll probably have to pay up a whole lot more because she was too convincing with it. And even after the lawsuit, she says you were born and you will die this. Yo, Candace Owens also stated that she would stake her professional reputation on this.
A year ago, when I said that I would stake my entire professional career on the fact that Brigitte Macron, the current First Lady of France, was born a man.
Now what? Now how is subscribers or consumers or watchers of Candace Owens, how are they supposed to react to this? Because there's a 99.9% chance that Candace Owens was wrong and this person was not born Jean-Michel, and Jean-Michel is a real person, and Brigitte is a real person, and Candace Owens just got caught up in a strange conspiracy, went too far deep in a rabbit hole, and now her professional career will always have a black mark to it. But let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, man? Do y'all believe that Candace Owens is telling the truth, or do y'all believe that the cleanup and the sweep of Candace Owens' bank account is about to happen, okay? Let me know in the comment section what you think. And if you're still watching, click on this video here somewhere on my screen, somewhere here, or here on my screen to find out why Ebro, this hip-hop media, legendary radio personality, find out
that's
how
not worth it. All right, so what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Hold on one second. Probably just get to clean. All right. Okay, cool. Good job. See you in the morning, buddy. Okay. I want to know what y'all think about it. Let me know. I like this Victoria Powell right here. What did she say right here? I'm not going to lie. I'm sorry, I'm not going to lie. I got truly saved and had conservative beliefs. So I started listening to her and Tucker. The more I read scripture, I realized something isn't right about her takes. Because it's a Christless conservatism. It's not informed by scripture. It's informed by common sense and common grace. Like we should not be deleting little people. I mean, there is some common sense aspects to it. But really, when the smoke clears, Christ is absent. And by the way, if you got a problem with that, dearwokec@gmail.com, y'all welcome to email me. Email management and let me know. Don't send me a clip of Candace giving the gospel to somebody. I want to hear it. I want to make sure because I missed it. Like an Andrew Tate, like she gives the gospel to Joe Rogan. She gives the gospel to what's that guy, the brand guy, or anybody else. I want to see it. I'm here for it. I'm willing to platform it and say it. But no, I do think that she's given to conspiracies. And I'm not. Maybe I know somebody saying that she's not a conspiracy theorist. I do. Now, there's some conspiracy theorists. That's all they do all day long. I'll accept it. I think it was Amethyst Angel that says she doesn't think that she's a conspiracy theorist, where all she does is live off of it. She is very close to it. If she's not a theorist, she lives in that neighborhood on that street. And that's all I'm talking about. Because again, like she put this out in Becoming Brigitte, and now is coming out with a new theory because she realized that what she said in Becoming Brigitte was wrong. And let me know if if the dying sister theory was in that expose. Let me know. Because as far as I know, it was not in there. From the people I've heard, did not say it was in there. But we have come to a place, boys and girls, where I think it's fair to say that we can move on by. Yeah, send them dusty emails on over here. dearwokec@gmail.com. We'd be glad to listen to them. Okay. No, I don't know Michael Knowles like that. I think Brett Cooper was definitely a smart commentator. I like her. Shout out to her. Yeah, she's shaking the bag. She's chasing the bag. But the problem is, and I want to talk about this, and maybe I'll bring my guest in. Let's see if he wants to come in and talk about it. There he is. What's going on, man?
What's up, my guy? How you doing?
How are you?
Man, just got done working at the studio.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm at the studio watching SummerSlam, so that's how I go.
Oh, yeah, SummerSlam is tonight.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
If y'all don't know, this is Mike from White Label Consulting. Mike, real quick, tell us who you are, what you do. Let's go. Big screen.
White Label Consulting is a platform that teaches you how to use OBS as well as live streaming and podcasting. And so that's what we do. So yeah, Skinny of it. You need help with your YouTube channel or your live streaming or your church live streaming, your church media. Yeah. Let me know. I'm in there.
I love it. I love it.
What we talking about?
I just got done talking about Candace and getting sued by the president of France.
Oh, about old boy? Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did there. You think you're funny. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised. There have been I've had some pretty serious jokes about this. I'm kind of mad I'm not a stand-up comedian because I would definitely unequivocally slay it by talking about this topic.
Yeah, I got the right one. Got the right one, baby. Uh-huh.
We got the right one, baby.
Yeah.
But okay, so let me throw a theory out here. Okay, so shout out to the chat. Hey, everybody in the chat, real quick. I dropped a poll. What do you think is going to happen with this lawsuit? At the current moment, looks like about 50% of you say it's going to settle out of court. 29% says that Candace loses. 7% say Candace wins. And then 14% says something else is going to happen. All right, I'm going to throw a theory out here. I talked to a legal expert this past Friday. Super smart guy. We had a good conversation. We batted around some theories about Shannon Sharp as well as this. And he knows I'm a pre-K law student, so he knows I don't know a doggone thing. But he brought up something that I did not know about, or I had forgotten about. Do you remember the Cardi B versus Tasha K lawsuit?
Absolutely. Yes.
All right. So, okay, here we go. And this is why I think Candace Owens is cooked, double cooked, fried, fricasseed, kebabbed, and she's on the falafel right now. All right. Tasha K is a podcaster out here, and she was going hard on Cardi B. If you're not familiar, Cardi B is a female rapper, and she's pretty unrepentant. She's unregenerate. She's not a good person. Tasha K was saying some things about Cardi B that were crazy. That she was a 304, that she's an addict of the illicit substances, that she's a horrible mom, and that she has STDs. Okay. And Cardi B kept reaching out to her to stop. And lo and behold, Cardi B decided to sue her. And while me and the attorney were talking on Friday, it hit me. I said, wait. Why did Cardi B sue? Cardi B sue Tasha K if she knew that she had an STD? They're going to have to do a blood test, right? And it hit us both at the same time. But she knew she didn't have it. And that's why she sued her. Ended up winning, and she won a $4 million judgment against Tasha K. And do you know what Tasha K did next, Mike, by any chance?
Filed bankruptcy.
She filed bankruptcy. Tasha K filed bankruptcy. Got about 2.7 of that $4 million vacated. Mm-hmm. And she only has to pay $1.3 million to Cardi B over like some extended period of time. And it's kind of like she won, but she lost because Cardi B spent probably better than $1 million in order to defend herself in this case. So though she's going to get 1.3, I'm sorry, she spent like 1.6. So though she's going to get 1.3, she really lost $300,000 because Tasha K filed for bankruptcy. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, say Mike, say, well, Jason, why are you saying that Candace is cooked?
Why is Candace cooked, Jason?
Because if she loses this case and they hit her with a $10 million judgment, she can't file bankruptcy. That's all they've been talking about in that case. And by the way, I dropped the link to the case in the chat, so you're welcome to check it out if you didn't know it already. That's all they've been talking about. They can't stop talking about the fact that she's making all this money off of this story. Her views are insane. I mean, her views. I mean, she's getting the amount of views in a day that some people get in a week or in a day. I mean, in a year. It's crazy. So she's getting those views, and they're going to look. If they hit her with a $6 million judgment after she loses this or settles, she won't be able to file bankruptcy for it. Go ahead.
Okay, so what is the basis of the lawsuit? Because I'm
Defamation.
I'm coming in late. Huh?
Oh,
And what's the
defamation.
what's the defamation? What's the defaming statement?
That the female Macron, was born a man.
And up until now, from all the bloggers, has there been definitive proof that that's an incorrect statement?
There's not been there's been pictures, there's been articles, there's been everything else, but yeah, I think it's been enough. But
we ain't seen a blood test, we ain't seen a birth certificate, we haven't seen nothing.
They do the birth
She
announcement.
Like 10.
Go ahead.
She put out like 10. Candace put out like 30 videos, not 30, but
easily. No, you're right.
Easily about this whole thing, and they have put out. It was the whole Obama birth certificate thing.
Mm-hmm.
They put out all this information, and the information they put out to dispel it wasn't even convincing, right? It was just enough. Like we didn't like I'm not being mean. We didn't get a Cardi B negative test. We didn't get a negative STD test we didn't get a real test. We got because there were people in the streets like who weren't a part of the lawsuit that were saying that what the information that Tasha K came out was true. There were stories out there. And so what happened was, in my opinion, anybody could correct me if I'm wrong. In my opinion, the thing is that, and that's an excellent question from Amethyst Angel. You could have sued for libel instead of defamation. Yeah. Defamation means you're just sullying my character and you're ruining my good name. You could have sued for libel because you're pretty much saying I'm lying, right? I'm saying this case is going to come down to what the courts deem could be defamation, how it's defaming their character, and how serious it is, right? I think the Tasha K, Cardi B came down to some questionable judgment and some things that they were not willing to take into evidence, like hearsay testimony. Like Big Rob from the block, who's a drug dealer, can't come online and say, Cardi B gave me the package without definitive proof. And so they weren't willing to go down that road because there was a couple of appeals in place and they just weren't won. And there was 1,000 other things that Tasha K said about Cardi B that weren't in the case. There was a whole bunch of things about how she used to rob people, which she admitted to.
She admitted to it,
right? Exotic dancer, which she admitted to it, right. So there was a whole this whole case was more than just, it was more than just one thing. To me, Cardi B just picked out the one thing she could prove right now. I can prove right now that I don't got the package. Right now, I can prove that.
You can also, I'm assuming she approved that she wasn't a drug dealer or a drug addict. I'm sorry.
Again, I don't. If you look at,
I'm not here to judge it, but go ahead.
No. I'm saying if you look at the totality of that case and you look at the what everything
totality.
was being accused, yeah, they picked out the one thing that they could say definitely right now. Right now, I don't have a package. I might do drugs, but I'm not an addict. I might used to dance, but I don't dance no more. I might have like my music. If you listen to my music certainly like agrees with the accusation.
The accusation, right?
Yeah, my charges. My music actually. If you just listen to my music, you should have ruled in Tasha K's favor, but they didn't do that. I'm saying in this case, right? You have to look at that Macron doesn't have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt the defaming. Like it's not one of those cases where to me it's gonna have to be like a whole bunch of extra things to come forth to counteract all the stuff that Candace has said, all the videos she's put out, all the exposés she's done. They don't have to work that hard to win this case. They basically just have to prove that it was defaming, and whether it's even enough evidence for in the public eye to say Candace was wrong. This is not a really hard case for them to win. Defamation sometimes it's just it's not even you don't have to work that hard to win it. And I think that's where Candace is cooked, is that they picked the easiest way to win a case. Like your commenter said, Libel's a lot harder to prove.
That's fair
to me. And if it was such an easy case to win, and then they could actually go for a bigger case and get more money, to me, do more damage. Like if it were me and I was famous, I'm coming for your platform. Don't pay me no money. I want your platform shut down. I want, you know what I'm saying? I'm going for the big thing. Because Tasha K she lost money, but she didn't lose any followers. She didn't lose any subscribers. Yeah, she's still making her money. She got half of the judgment reduced by 60%. And I'm sure 1-2 YouTube videos to get her coins rolling back in, because now she's on a payment plan, basically. She just got to make enough content to make the payment. So at the end of the day, she may be hurting. Yeah, she may be hating, but I think Candace is cooked for a different reason. I think she's cooked because of the type of case it is. It's not really a case where I feel like they have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. You just have to make the court feel like, oh, she made a defaming statement and you felt bad about it. That's my opinion about it. That's how I felt about Tasha K, Cardi B, with all the stuff that we've known Cardi B has done. And all of the things that she's admitted to have done in her past, and the character, the language, the many people she's cussed out, how many times she's gone on rants on social media. Yeah, she, the claim wasn't too far out. It wasn't something that could not be agreed to. Like somebody listening to that, I'm like, oh yeah, she might have a package, all the stuff she's talking about. I think this is, to me, a different case. That's my opinion. I could be totally wrong. Maybe somebody don't feel like I got the information already correct, but I think Candace is cooked for a different reason. We both think she's cooked, but I think she's cooked for a different reason. Because
we disagree how she's cooked. Is she barbecued? Is she grilled? Is she stir fried? What's that? Sous vide? Is she sous vide cooked? Right, but I think we agree that she's cooked.
Korean barbecue, baby. Korean barbecue.
Korean barbecue. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Candace Korean barbecue.
That's what it is. Yeah, which is weird because all the other. If you look at the stuff Candace has put out over the last 3-4 years, this is the case that's going to take her down. Really? She did a whole expose on Kamala Harris's family. She did a whole expose on the Obama
George Floyd
stuff. She did a whole expose on like several other things that were far more nefarious than this. This is going to be the case that gets her. Really? Like this,
I really thought what she said about George Floyd, like him or not, disagree with her or not, I really thought that was going to be the one that was going to push her out there off the cliff, but clearly not.
No, because she wasn't the first one to actually have done that research. And actually, if I don't remember the guy's name. There's two guys that do a podcast. They're African American gentlemen. One's an older guy, one's a little bit younger. He's light skinned. He kind of talks real soft. They did the first broadcast on that maybe like a year ago. It's like, hey, we've done our work on the George Floyd. And the one guy was a Democrat. He's like, I have to change my mind. Like everything I was told, everything that was communicated about the case was completely false. And even when they released the full police tape, when you watch the full George Floyd tape. So I think Candace was safe with that one. Because she was like, oh, you come after me, there's like 50 other people you got to come with. This whole Marsone thing, this is like her fight. Like, I don't know anybody else. Yeah,
that's going hard like this, right?
Yeah, she is going beyond. Like, she's got a point to prove with these people, and I just don't know why attacking these people are something that you got to live and die on.
I don't know. But thank you, Amethyst Angel, for the $5 super. She says, if Candace is smart, she has already consulted with her attorneys. That's chess, not checkers. If you watch the Tucker Carlson video, I personally believe her lawyers told her to tamper it down a whole lot, because her rhetoric is different, and I don't know how cool. I don't know how cool Tucker Carlson is with playing his content. I don't got time to get copyright strike tonight, but if you go watch it, her rhetoric is different, and they do have timestamps inside of that, so you can jump to right where she talks about various topics, and she talks about the lawsuit. Her languaging is different. Now she still goes through and tries to.
She hasn't really talked about this recently in a long time. Like, she was living and dying on the Kamala Harris family. She had like 27 parts of that video, not 27, but this wasn't like this was like a year ago. She jumped
on this train. Like, no, she jumped on this train. Like, don't quote me on this. Like last November, when she was still at the Daily Wire. So right after,
but I'm saying,
after the election.
I'm saying that her focus has been on the Kamala Harris thing over the last, several videos. I think it's like maybe something like 9 or 10 videos. So she hasn't even been on this kick like she was last year. Like last year, she was talking about the lawyer had a bad pass, and she was talking about her husband, and she was talking about everybody in that camp for like months straight. And then she pivoted. She was talking to the Jamaican people about Harris and having people fly in and all this kind of stuff. She completely pivoted away from that. So to me, again, there's some far more serious stuff that she has talked about that to me should have been dealt with. Like if this was going to be the case that's going to take her down, then I don't know. It's like when people say stuff online and they're talking about different things that happen with different bloggers and YouTubers and stuff. You can look at the content of their channel and be like, oh, if you had to pick something that they would get sued for, like here's the things. I don't think this will even be in the top 5. Like she said she's gone into the craziest exposés that I've ever wanted to talk about. Like,
yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's going to bankrupt her. I think it's going to financially ding her for sure. And it's going to definitely, I'm not going to say she's going to get relegated to like your Alex Jones level of obscurity, but she's going to get knocked down a couple of pegs for sure. And no matter how this thing shakes out, but I think I don't see a path to victory. So that's just my little 2 cents there for sure.
Unless she's holding a smoking gun we don't even know about. If there's some kind of nefarious family member who's been waiting to get back at these people since he was 3 years old, and he's in the back eating crumpets and French fries, and he's like, I'm going to get
French fries. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm going to get these. I'm going to use Candace to get them back. Then, there's not much. I think that this stuff is giving me a headache, bro. This is crazy. Like, I don't understand why. I understand you want to report the news and stuff like that, but you're paying money and you're doing private investigators and you're doing all this stuff. And the Kamala Harris stuff was way more informative than this stuff. Like, just not even close. And they didn't sue her.
Right.
But I would have paid one of my ghetto cousins to find her and fight her. Like, that's how bad the Kamala Harris was. I'm getting Keisha Harris. You need to fly out. Go find Candace. Yeah, go find Keisha. Yeah, she brought Judge Joe Brown in, all kinds of stuff.
All kinds. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she talked to a family member in Jamaica. She talked to her stepbrother, her third cousin on her mama's side. They should have sued her, but they didn't. This is what we're talking about.
No, I got you. You know what, Mike? Let's shift gears. Let's shift it. All right. Do you have great jeans?
My jeans. This is not a pun. Right now, I'm wearing black jeans. Now my jeans are black. This
I wasn't ready for that. I was not ready for that.
Today I am wearing black jeans. It's first Sunday in the Baptist church, and we got to wear black and white. I got on a black and white nice top and black jeans. Today my jeans are black. Yeah, so
I was not ready for black jeans. I should have told. That was well played.
I got black
jeans. This angel with the 5. What did she say here? Maybe she wants to be Alex Jones and Steve Bannon. Wait for the I told you so 10 years out. Very possible. It's very possible. And it's very possible. But I know what we are going to do is say thank you so much for the very kind $5 super. All right, Mike.
$250.
You got black jeans on. I got blue jeans on.
My jeans are black today. Yeah.
That is hilarious. All right. So you got any opinion about the American Eagle Sydney Sweeney dust up?
Hold on. You told me my audio was messed up. Let me change something here real quick.
Okay, no problem. I'll just talk for a second.
Change that, and then let me go to let me switch this other camera. Okay, maybe that will help. My opinion is, I mean, am my audio going in and out?
Your audio was going in and out. Yep.
Is it fixed now?
Keep talking. I'm listening to you.
Check. I don't know. Yeah, it's well, I'm trying to clip it now, so maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm too loud. I saw the commercial after everybody made a fuss about it. I think it was I work in marketing, maybe not high level marketing, but I work in marketing enough. I didn't think there was too many things wrong with the catchphrase. I think that a certain party wants to be offended at everything, and I think it doesn't take much to offend them. The fact that she didn't have any melanin in her was already one thing. It's almost like if you are not melanated and pretty, you have a problem. No matter what color you are, they're going to have a problem with you. And so I think that was the first thing. The second thing was, I think that, Mark Lamont Hill started talking about eugenics and stuff. Negro, please. I don't know where you got your degree from. Like, it's just crazy I watched him complain about it. I watched somebody else complain about it. I watched the Pierce Morgan thing. I watched a few things about it. You just want to be offended by everything. Right now, he's on the Joe Budden podcast on a regular basis. None of what you guys talk about, which is highly offensive, offends you. But this little non-melanated snow bunny who's working on a car has you so up in arms that you think that Hitler will get up from the grave and be reincarnated and start cloning little white girls. Like, you literally work on a podcast that is offensive. I mean, it's all the way offensive. It's all the way offensive. And this ad drove you to saying that the master race and what eugenics and, saying that it's racist because, when you hear good genes, like we have the same conversation in the Black community, right? When somebody has nice hair, what do we say? Hey, you must got some Indian in you. You got good, you got some good hair. The Black community has the same thing. I'm sure other races have different insider things that they talk about. So this, I don't know. I didn't think anything about it. I think they just wanted to be offended. I know The View almost had a conniption. All of them had heart attacks about it. So
heart palpitations.
Really.
I think what it is that we are in a place now where the less melanated white people cannot be proud of anything. They can't be proud of they can't be proud of being born American. They can't be proud of having a mom and a dad and 2 kids. They can't be proud of the fact that they got natural features from their ancestors. Nothing. They can't be proud about nothing.
It is the Eminem line from 8 Mile. This guy thinks he's a gangster. His real name is Clarence, and Clarence had a real nice home with really good parents. That's really not a knock against Clarence. So now you're talking about Poindexter. Poindexter has a nice home. Poindexter's parents have credit. Poindexter's nice looking. It's racist for a non-melanated person to succeed because we are still behind. That's what one of the commentators said. Well, we're still behind in this country, so you shouldn't celebrate the things that are keeping us behind. Sydney Sweeney's not keeping you behind.
No, and because I watched, and I've done several videos about this. And there's a gentleman, he's kind of dry, but he does really good commentary. Dr. Sweeney Analysis.
Okay.
What's his name? Dr. Todd Grande. He's doing a Sweeney Analysis. And I was going to bring him in because I think it's just interesting that we're at a point now where the less melanated cannot do anything. Because by saying that she has good genes, that does not mean that you don't have good genes, Mike.
Not at all.
No. And I told people before, I said, my mom has pretty spectacular genes because she's 75 plus polio survivor and she still drives and she still does everything that she does. And that's pretty amazing considering the fact that she was one of the few people to not get the polio vaccine when she was 5. So she's lived with this for better than 70 years. She's got pretty good genes. And it don't matter if Sydney Sweeney has nice genes, GENES or JEANES. I can't spell all of a sudden. It don't matter.
Well, let's ask a question. When you hear, let's take the color out of it. When you hear somebody say they have good genes, what does that normally mean?
They excel at something, in my mind. Well, they have a feature.
That's it. They have a feature that they got from their parents.
That's
Meaning
it.
they might be, that's what it is. They might have a big nose. They might have blue eyes. They might have muscular. I've seen, kids who are muscular because of their appearance. All it means is there's some feature from another family member, preferably a mother and father, that allow you to have that feature. She's saying, I got good genes. I want to see her mama. If her mama ugly and she say I got good genes, then we got a problem. If her daddy looked like a vampire,
another vampire.
If both her parents are mud ducks and she say I got good genes, then we got a problem. But she simply said I have good genes and my genes are blue. Where's that racist?
I don't know, but shout out to Amethyst Angel with another 5. What did she say here? I have great genes. The Holy Spirit is in my DNA, and my grandmother lived to be 103, and my wrinkles don't show because they are in my brain. Shout out if you know, you know. Amethyst Angel, thank you so very much for the very kind $5 super. Absolutely. Yeah, like, and by saying that you have good genes doesn't mean that I don't have good genes. That's the thing. Like, you can kick rocks. So let me bring this in. I think Brother Grande has something to share with us. So let's see what he's got to say. Green hearts in the chat when y'all can hear.
Controversy surrounding Sydney Sweeney and American Eagle Outfitters. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the incident, then offer my analysis. Sydney Bernice Sweeney was born on September 12, 1997, in Spokane, Washington. She was raised not far from there in northern Idaho by her father, who worked in hospitality, and her mother, who was an attorney. In school, Sydney played multiple sports, including baseball and soccer. When she was 11 or 12 years old, she was hit in the face by a board while wakeboarding. This left her with a permanent scar near her eye. Sydney decided that she wanted to be an actress. When she was 13 years old, her family relocated to Los Angeles. Sydney graduated from a high school in Burbank and pursued a career in acting. She obtained small roles like Grey's Anatomy, 90210, and Pretty Little Liars. Sydney went on to land more significant roles in a few series like Sharp Objects and The Handmaid's Tale. As far as movies, she appeared in the 2018 films Under the Silver Lake and Along Came the Devil. Despite all these roles, Sydney really didn't achieve significant success until 2019, when she appeared in the HBO series Euphoria as the character Cassie Howard, as well as the movies Big Time Adolescence and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. In 2021, she increased her level of fame when she appeared in the series White Lotus. Sydney continued to have success over the next few years, acting in movies like Americana, Anyone But You, Immaculate Eden, and Echo Valley. As far as her level of physical attractiveness, which is important to the story, Sydney has...
Mike, how many of those movies have you watched?
I don't remember none of them.
I never watched any of them. I'm like, what are these movies? What are these shows? What's going on? Okay. I just want to break it up a little bit. Let's go.
Characteristics that are typically favored under Western beauty standards. For example, her upper eyelid platform is clearly visible, and her eyes have a slight upward tilt at the outer corners. Many people believe this gives Sydney an innocent yet sensual look, which is both distinctive and helpful in her career as an actress. Now moving to the timeline of the incident. On July 23, 2025, the clothing retailer, American Eagle Outfitters, launched an advertising campaign featuring Sydney Sweeney. There were a few different video advertisements. One video features Sydney saying, "Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue." At this point, a man's voice can be heard saying, "Sydney Sweeney has great genes." In another video, Sydney is talking as the camera pans down her body. She says, "My body composition is determined by my genes," then says, "Hey, eyes up here," as the camera abruptly repositions on her face. The advertising campaign was a big move for American Eagle. The company's sales have been down from this time last year. In the first quarter of 2025, they lost $68 million. There's this sense that they were trying to create something attention-getting to drive sales. It's not clear if they were successful with the sales part, but they definitely attracted attention. Many people criticized the advertisement campaign, saying that it promotes white supremacy and eugenics. Here are a few examples of commentary from the mainstream media and from social media. The campaign was offensive and regressive. It reflected an unbridled cultural shift toward whiteness, conservatism, and capitalist exploitation. The campaign featured racial undertones and was a tone-deaf marketing move. There were several comments suggesting it felt like Nazi propaganda, master race propaganda, and had a subtle 1930s Germany tone. The phrase "great genes" has historically been linked to celebrating whiteness, thinness, and conventional attractiveness. Having a woman who is blonde, white, and has blue eyes in a campaign about perfect genetics feels weird. The campaign was an obvious dog whistle for racists. It was not just about genes, like denim jeans, rather about who gets to be the face of America's best genes, like genetics. The blue jeans, and jeans as in genetics pun, is lazy and as uninspired as the jeans it's meant to sell. People from other races should have been in the campaign. It was meant to provoke people by aligning with conservative aesthetics amid a polarized media environment. And some of the commentary suggested that educated consumers were the ones who were brave enough to call the brand out. Now, of course, not everybody feels the same way. Some people view the criticism as over the top and nonsensical. For example, Ted Cruz accused the left of being against beautiful women, and J.D. Vance offered some sarcastic advice to Democrats, telling them to label those who think Sydney Sweeney is attractive as Nazis. That is the perfect way to connect with young American men for the midterms. American Eagle responded to the uproar with a statement on Instagram, writing, "Sydney Sweeney has great genes, is and always was about the genes, her story. We'll continue to celebrate how everyone wears their AE jeans with confidence, their way. Great genes look good on everyone." Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts on a few areas that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1. How many people are on each side of this advertising campaign issue? Is this really the rebirth and re-empowerment of the cancel culture, or does this involve only a small number of upset people? There's no way to know for sure, but an opinion poll conducted by the marketing research company YouGov may provide some insight. They reported that 52% of American adults believed the advertisement campaign was appropriate, 16% felt it was inappropriate, and 32%
Sorry about that.
were not sure. 16% represents a substantial number of people, but it falls quite short of a renaissance of wokeness. I think the greater insight into the situation comes from the 32% figure, the number of people who are uncertain. This highlights how the topic is confusing. People aren't sure what to make of these cultural flashpoints that have been igniting so frequently. Is it time to be joyful with jeans or ditch the denim? They don't really know. Item number 2, will this controversy be good for American Eagle? Will this sell more denim jeans, or is it a disaster for them? Some people have praised the company's refusal to back down from the campaign as an anti-woke triumph, the dawn of a new era, one that is free of the cancel culture. I don't know if I would go that far, but it seems pretty clear they cannot take this campaign down. They are better off standing their ground. The backlash against them for retreating would be severe because they would be caving in. It would appear cowardly. American Eagle needs to avoid making a commitment to be more aware of their implicit bias or anything that even resembles an apology. That would be the kiss of death. Right now, they're actually riding a wave of free publicity. Some of it may be negative, but I don't think that really matters. It's hard to imagine that anyone is actually going to cancel their plans to buy American Eagle products based on this campaign, but many people may be motivated to support them. Now it's not just about blue jeans, it's about fighting wokeness. Item number 3, what do I think happened in this case? This is just a theory, my opinion. American Eagle fully understood that the denim jeans and jeans, as in genetics, play on words, could lead to some problems. Maybe they didn't think it would blow up like it did, but they must have known that it was not particularly clever wordplay, and it came with some risks as far as offending the woke crowd. Even so, what they did was not truly offensive. It was just an advertising campaign from a struggling clothing company who was trying to reinvent themselves. There's a significant difference between tacky and signaling the beginning of the apocalypse. For the cancel culture nonsense brokers who exist in a permanent state of being offended, the advertising campaign opened the door for more complaining. The core of the cancel culture belief system is very similar to the thought process of conspiracy theorists. Both groups believe they are inherently special, and they have an incredible ability to perceive threats that other people cannot perceive. They may even refer to this as a magical power or as a gift. Normal people look at the campaign and see a young and popular actress getting paid to help a struggling company with an edgy ad. Those who adhere to the cancel culture ideology see something completely different. They see a threat to democracy. They see the beginning of a plan to annihilate anyone who doesn't look like Sydney Sweeney. There are no degrees or levels for the cancel culture. Every perceived offense by someone conservative signals the destruction of civilization. I can only imagine that when they drive vehicles, their foot is fully on the brake or fully on the gas. From a statistical point of view, they only believe in the ordinal scale of measurement. One thing can be rank ordered as worse than something else, but the degree to which it is worse cannot be specified. Nothing in the world can be measured on the ratio or interval scales, like with numbers. The cancel culture not only believes that a catastrophe is just around the corner, they believe that calling out offenders is the only way to prevent this upcoming disaster. They have a special power and therefore a special responsibility. Given their tendency to take things to the extreme, again, there are no degrees, they often invoke unthinkable tragedies in history, like the rise of Nazi Germany. Everything gets compared to that time. It seems pretty clear that many of the cancel culture nonsense brokers have never actually studied the history of World War II or what led up to it. The rise of Nazi Germany involved a combination of factors which were not particularly subtle. For example, one-party rule, a violent suppression of dissent, propaganda campaigns explicitly rooted in racial purity, militarization, expansionism, and an openly stated ideology of hate. The cancel culture promoters believed that if they were alive right before World War II, they would have called out the evildoers and prevented the unimaginable tragedy which followed. They would have been aware of the threat when no one else was. In reality, many people were already aware of the threat, but a number of factors, including isolationism, political inertia, and fear, led to inaction. Maintaining a warped perspective, the cancel culture advocates sincerely believe they are preventing fascism in the present by pointing out potential insensitivity in advertisements for denim jeans. To them, there is no continuum. One day there's a cultural shift away from liberal values. The next day, the world is at war. It is important to be vigilant, but not everything that people dislike is a sign of fascism. That kind of inflation dulls the impact of real warnings. There are genuine reasons to be concerned, but if everything is labeled as hazardous, then nothing is. Overreaction can be just as corrosive as silence. The die-hard cancel culture believers are not the only ones who have expressed outrage with this Sydney Sweeney American Eagle situation. There's also a group that was specifically triggered by how this campaign is focused on physical attractiveness. They are angry over the unfairness of how attractiveness functions in the world. Research has repeatedly illustrated how being physically attractive imparts a tremendous advantage in society. For example, attractive people earn about 10 to 15% more than their less attractive counterparts after controlling for education and experience. They are more likely to be interviewed, promoted, and hired. People rate attractive individuals as more trustworthy, confident, healthy, energetic, and likable. They have greater success with dating, they get higher grades in college, and they are less likely to be interrupted or dismissed in conversations. This tremendous advantage can lead to envy by those who are less attractive. Normally, people don't like to admit that they are envious, but the cancel culture ideology allows them a safe way to express this feeling. They can disguise their true feelings by pretending that they're trying to prevent fascism. In the end, whatever the reason someone joins the cancel culture, there is this sense that the party is over. The current societal attitude toward this ideology is negative. There was a time, not that long ago, when the cancel culture had achieved some success. When it was new, the shock and awe campaign against celebrities, including social media influencers, took everyone by surprise. There was a moment when cancel culture almost seemed legitimate to some, but that time is over. The nonsense brokers are desperately trying to hold on to a time when they had power. They are desperately clinging to an increasingly ineffective ideology, which is slowly fading into nothingness. The cancel culture is not dead, but it is heading in that direction, and it does not have the impact it used to. The sad part of all this is how some people genuinely wanted to have a legitimate dialogue about the issues of race and attractiveness. With the cancel culture interfering, that's nearly impossible, because everyone who is critical of the advertising campaign will be dismissed as part of some manufactured woke outrage. The cancel culture has not only failed, it has caused a wholesale dismissal of left-wing critics. The extreme actions of a few have harmed everybody. The cancel culture advocates have been complaining about an impending danger to people having their voices heard. Ironically, the danger came from them. Those are my thoughts on the controversy with Sydney Sweeney and American Eagle Outfitters. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon.
What you think, Mike? What you think, Mike?
Well, first of all, I need some water because he was dry.
Yeah, he's not. He does not try to. I feel like it is very monotone.
Through hot sand in the desert. Two.
Hot sand, you crazy, yeah.
On February 12th, 2020.
It was a lot. I think it was pretty spot on. And you know, while he was saying everything he was saying, I was listening. Then I went to her Instagram. Then I went to Google. I mean, she's like a 5, maybe 6, bro. Like, I mean, she's attractive. But if she was walking down the street, I would not be like, oh my God, look. It's almost like they made a big deal out of nothing. Let me walk it back. I'm not saying she's a 5 or 6 because I'm trying to be mean. I'm saying that the deal that they made over this girl and these jeans is crazy. You would think that she was like just a perfect 10, drop dead gorgeous, voluptuous. Like she's a very beautiful girl in a manufactured way for Hollywood. I mean, but if you or I saw her walking our church, we wouldn't be like, oh my God, she's beautiful. Like you would think that she was halfway dressed or like just something. I'm not even trying to be mean about it. Like the fuss over this is crazy. And I think your man summed it up in a very succinct, a very complete way where it was able to cover every aspect. I don't see anybody that could argue with him. I don't see one thing that he said other than, you know, you you might make a little bit more money if you look better. I mean, but I guess the statistics say
You make more money than me, then, right, Mike?
Yeah,
You make more money than me. I got you.
No.
Borrow a dollar.
I mean, I'm ruggedly handsome, but not a
Yeah, you got black
pay
jeans.
increase. You know what I mean? Yeah, I got black
Right.
jeans. I do have on black jeans today. Yeah. So yeah, who remembers here? Bo Derek. This is Bo Derek 2.0.
Yes.
I don't know. I remember Bo Derek. Like when we was little, Bo Derek can
Well,
get you some trouble. I don't know about that.
Let me just say like this. I'm gonna agree with Amethyst because I don't want to play it because I'm trying not to be on here for like 8 hours. But there's a content creator who does really she does really dry humor as well. She did a video 3 weeks ago about the age of ugly is over. And she talked about all these people back in 2019, 2020 were deliberately and intentionally making themselves unattractive.
Okay.
But now, since 24, a lot of them have found their femininity. A lot of them have found their level of masculinity, and they're no longer buying into that. What I think has happened because I do believe that I'm not saying that Sydney Sweeney is a 10 or Bo Derek. I'm just saying that, she's easy on the eyes. And that's the problem. She's easy on the eyes. And guess what? She's an actual woman. She's not somebody that's confused. She's not gender fluid. She's not a guy pretending like he's a chick or anything of that nature. So, you know what? I'm going to drop the link to Sydney Watson.
But weren't they last year?
I know where you're going. Go ahead.
But weren't they last year like body positivity was the thing, and Lizzo weighed 366 pounds, and everybody's cool with it. And the Dove commercial had nothing but Lane Bryant women in it. Like, wasn't that what they were doing? Like,
but see, this is the thing, Mike.
Yeah, this is
the thing. We're forcing them to shift from that, and the body positivity the crowd has completely been decimated because a lot of those people have Tango uniform because they had unhealthy lifestyles. But even more than that, just the self-uglification of people. I dropped the link in the video because I'm trying not to in the chat. Y'all can check it out. This young lady goes on and explains that what we're seeing now is a pendulum shift back. So this is probably the most egregious of the shift now that we see it in 4K. You might have noticed it. You're like one or two, your barista at the local Starbucks, they took out one or two of the septum rings. They might have dyed their hair like light yellow instead of, fire engine red. So they're starting to tone it down a little bit. But this one right here with American Eagle, they said, look, we're buying completely in. This is a full bona fide chick. Again, whether you think she's a 6 or better or whatever, it don't matter.
She's a woman.
She's a woman.
She's a woman.
She's a woman.
That's what it is.
And
wait. She's a white woman. That's what it is.
Well,
yeah, we gotta.
And
because
truly,
if that same commercial had been the same verbiage, I have. Let's say they picked.
They got it. Beyonce did one. He did one for Levi's.
No, that doesn't count. I don't want to do her. Lupita. Let's pick Lupita, the African actress.
Oh yeah.
She was and if they picked her and she said the exact same phrase, "I have good genes," that would be attributed to her. That would be attributed to her natural hair texture. It would be attributed to the smoothness of her skin. It would be attributed to her body type because she works out. So we would have no problem with that.
None whatsoever.
None whatsoever. They would be like, oh, this is a beautiful way to give credit to black women, way to give black girl magic and everything else. But the fact that she's not a woman of color, that's what we're all up in arms about.
That's really what it is.
I thought our women were equal. I thought the feminist movement thought all women were on the same playing field. That's what I thought.
That's what you thought, but apparently not. So, what on? This guy, look at this guy. What's going on? Caldwell Apologetics. Grace and PC, friend. How are you doing, man? Good to see you.
Yeah, well, it's a mess. I know that.
Yeah.
They said that stocks went up a quarter.
Again.
I think they said their stocks went up in the quarter or whatever sales went up, whatever the direct result of this commercial was actually a positive effect. So I think the backlash is actually working against the protesters or the people who are not actually trying to cause trouble. I think this is working counter to what they think it's working. They're thinking it's going to protest and stuff like that. I think it's more people that are just like, yo, this pick a better fight. This is not a fight to pick. This is almost this is almost like the reverse thing with sometimes that they go against certain political things and certain things, and then you find out that the protesting and stuff makes it worse because actually people kind of quietly agree with it. And I think in this instant, I don't think people are really saying, oh, we really hate the ad. It's really only one group of people. It's really
right. The people, right. And the likelihood is that they don't sell your size there anyway. Hey, Rick, if you want to jump in.
Everybody can't go to 21andMe or what is it, Forever 21 or 21 M&H. Yeah. I can't even shop at Target. Target stops at 2X. I can't even go into Target. I can't buy nothing from Target but food, which makes me go in the opposite direction from the clothes I want to get. You see what I'm saying? So these clothes are not made for everybody. Yeah, I went into the Ralph Lauren store. They looked at me like, "What are you doing here? We don't sell nothing for you, but socks." You know what I mean? They stopped me at the door. Polo wasn't trying to make nothing big for me. The only thing big in our store is the horse on the patch. That's it.
Oh no.
So they weren't trying to bring me in. Yeah. So
what's going on, Amethyst? Hold on, Amethyst is in the building. What's going on, friend? How are you?
Hey.
Are you talking to me?
Yes. How are you doing, friend?
I'm doing okay. Am I on the time delay?
You seem like you're right on.
I'm blessed. You know why I'm blessed? Because my lifeguard walks on water.
There you go. I love it. How are you doing, friend? It has been a minute.
Okay, I'm on a delay and I'm hearing myself 7 seconds out.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Hey, you sound perfect on our end.
Hold on.
She probably has a YouTube window open on her phone. So she's playing the StreamYard and the YouTube page.
Oh, do I need to turn off the YouTube?
Or just mute it? Yeah, turn it
or
off.
Mute it.
Hold on.
Mute the YouTube page. Yeah.
Hold on.
All right. Shout out to Amethyst.
Okay, is that better?
I think it sounds fine.
Yeah.
Dude, how do you sound?
I'm not hearing myself.
There we go. That's why we got Mike here. That's why we got Mike
Thank
from
you,
White
Mike.
Label Consulting. He helps you with your screening.
I dropped his channel in the chat.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Yes. I've missed you, Jason.
Missed you as well. Thank you so much.
And where's the rest of the 20 people that are viewing? Where are the comments? I feel like I'm just having a conversation with you and Mike and myself.
Oh, y'all get in the comments and comment. I see them over here. They're commenting, but that's fine. You know what? People are like, hey, we ain't been over here in the best live chat in a while.
Yeah.
They're getting their fingers loose. That's it.
Yeah, okay.
They're getting their fingers loose.
I just wanted to come on here and say you're doing a great job. I love the rebrand. I love the thought process. God's time is always on time. And I really want to say for everybody to see and hear that the effort that you are making to collab with other creators so freely is fabulous. I've caught you now, I guess, 2 or 3 weeks in a row with Wise.
I love Wise. Great guy.
Yes, that collaboration. You're collaborating right now. You have no problem sharing the bounty with other creators, and that will reward you greatly.
Thank you so much.
You're giving greatly. You will be rewarded greatly because you're not making it about you. And I appreciate that.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it, love.
Now, just a couple of points.
Go ahead.
Since I'm on here now.
Oh, here it comes, y'all. We about to get schooled.
We about to get schooled. I agree with Mike when he talks about Lupita.
Yeah.
But you're right. They might have not said anything, but the still woke yet not awake melanated community would be cheering it other than the fatties. So the melanated people would have been, let's go back to American Eagle. Let's help their stocks go up. Yeah, because they knew right. They put a sister out there. I think the fact that it's the melanated people and the fat people and the nose ring people and the colored hair people are having a hard time because it's not them. They are the rats on the sinking ship of woke. And unfortunately, they're captains and first lieutenants. That would be your Rolanda Martins and your Scamalots and all them other ones. Those are the captains and lieutenants. They've long been overboard. So you still got the rats on the sinking ship.
So let me ask a question. You think that if the American Eagle had a size 13 person with red hair and a nose pierce and tattoos and was mildly androgynous, where we didn't quite know exactly what gender they identified with, then everybody would be happy?
No. The 88 million would not be happy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Did you hear what I said?
Yes, I did.
I got you.
Does the chat understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
What has happened is that it's the common, I mean, the one ad with her leaning over the car, that hit the community that walked away from Budweiser.
Right.
So now
are not expensive either.
The in the meantime, what it's saying is that the majority that is finally awakened to the psyop of the last 4 to 8, 12 years. Yes, it goes all the way back. We're finally being heard. So the monsters are getting slung out stone by stone, if you hear what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
So that's the minority community, the outliers, the extremists on the 1% side of the left side of the scale. They're still just making a lot of noise because they're screaming for help when they're sinking ship. They're trying to climb the mast like the rats they are. They're trying to climb the mast to the top, but the ship is going down. We are in, and I love it, Jason, the post-woke era.
World. Yeah.
And that's why, because we as conservatives, as normal people who may not be Christians, but even have some sense of what normal is, we're like, okay, keep making noise, but we've never been people to make noise. So now we are. Now we're starting to make those waves by saying it without saying it.
Okay, I can rock with that.
And actually, I also think that whoever, because I put in the chat who was the ad agency, and no sooner than I hit send, I said, let me look it up. And what I briefly saw was that was in-house. So I hope that they had to save money. If they were going under, their numbers were not good. They couldn't afford an ad agency.
No, they couldn't.
So they had to recruit. Or they rallied their in-house marketing team. And you know what? It might have been a toss-up. Okay, they took the chance on getting pushback, but they figured, oh, we've been getting pushback all this time anyway. Might as well try it. Boom, surprise. The pushback pushed up their stocks because of the 88 million.
And they all know controversy sells. So I'm sure when they were sitting in the meeting writing this ad up, they're like, look, it's going to cause a little controversy. I don't think they thought it was going to cause that much controversy, but yeah.
And they may not have even thought it would have caused positive controversy. Controversy is not all bad. They might not have seen the reward. They might have been bracing for the negative controversy. But they might not have even seen the fact that, hey, we're going to run with this and do very well. That light behind me isn't helping.
Wow. So I'm wondering, I think, in my opinion, people that are complaining about this ad, because I've watched tons of TikToks, tons of them.
God bless
And
you. I
might,
refuse to download it.
well, no, I just watched tons of TikToks of this, that are on other platforms that are making montages about them. And I just noticed a trend. These are very usually high calorie,
yes,
unattractive people and women specifically that are upset about this advertisement. I'm looking at their sizes. They actually do sell sizes that they sell everybody's sizes, Mike. So you can go check them out at American Eagle. They're actually pretty reasonable. They're not very expensive, but I digress. But those people bought into the lie of making yourselves unappealing, fighting against the male gaze, all this kind of foolishness like that. And then they're met with the reality that living a high calorie, unappealing life has left you lowly out here. But all of your captains, all your first lieutenants on the ship, they already got spouses. They already got families. They already got themselves. And y'all bought into it. I think that's part of the rage that we're seeing, is that a lot of these people have really have buyer's remorse. They realize that they bought into this lie, but Roland Martin ain't living it. They bought into this lie, but Beyonce ain't living it. Kamala ain't even living it. They bought into these lies of, I don't think Kamala got a nose ring. Beyonce, she got other people's hair, but her hair is fairly the normal color. Roland Martin ain't doing that kind of stuff, but they got y'all to do it. And I think they're upset, angry, and bitter about the fact that we're doing this and we're not seeing the results that we thought we would see, the happiness, the joy in our lives that we thought we would see. And now y'all got the audacity to placard in front of us what we should have been doing anyway, which is I don't think that lust is a conservative value, but they put it out there and it sells.
Well, if it bleeds, it leads. If it's sexy, it leads. That's what made liquor advertisements, car advertisements back in the day when American Steel was the thing. Sex sold it. Can we just not accept that and still live our conservative lives and try to be the best witness that we can be? Because being sexy is subjective. And it becomes more subjective the older you get.
Absolutely.
When you're 20 years old and 125 pounds, like I was in my BC days, that's one thing. But sexy and sensuality, as we grow, we should redefine that. We should hone in on the definition, because we know that's not the be all and end all of who we are.
Correct. No, I agree. All right, real quick, what you think about this? Tell me about Candace. Go ahead and break it down to us, Amethyst Angel. Break it down to us.
I'm quick. I have no shame. I'm a recovered alcoholic, delivered, redeemed, 21 and a half years sober. And I was also diagnosed and am currently under pharmaceutical care for bipolar disorder.
Okay.
I can just say anecdotally, I have seen the effects of bad hormones when a woman has children. We have documented cases of very bad postpartum depression that has caused mothers to kill their children or to abandon their homes or to injure their children. I conclude it would not be wrong to think that it wouldn't do it the other way. You have depression, you have mania. She's always been conspiratorial from before she had kids. That was her thing for years. And she did have a couple wins. She had the Scam-A-Lot win. No, I don't respect her enough to call her by her name. She had that win. And she had a couple of other wins that fortified her reputation. But when I was thinking about it and started doing a timeline, she really started ramping and going up. It was the Daily Wire issue. Then didn't she get pregnant And then she was out for a little while with the first child. And then she comes back and then she's booted off of Daily Wire. Right? Isn't that the timeline?
I don't remember exactly the fullness of her trajectory, but I've heard other women say something about her return back to work has been entirely too fast after
the
especially
first.
after this most recent. I've heard her definitely about this last child she had. They're like, girl, you was back to work too fast. Like you didn't take time to get yourself together. So
Hormones in women can, because I was forced into surgical menopause well before 50. And that's hellacious. Much less the natural process of periomenopause and menopause and postmenopausal.
Okay.
I would not be surprised if her hormone levels really just set off what was already there. She was already a fast talker, a fast walker. She wouldn't let you finish a sentence. She talked fast. You can hardly understand. You got to put her on 50% speed just to hear her finish a sentence. Then she had these kids. Now I was laughed at in another chat when I wrote that, but I'm going to stand 10 toes down. I'm still working on my shoulders back. That she's got some hormonal things going on, and it's just driving crazier.
No, I got you. Mind Chaos Bruce says she's always been outspoken.
Yes.
She's just unfiltered and slightly rude. I always gave her credit when I would credit Candace that she says exactly her economy of words. A lot of people remember me talking about her economy of words.
Mm-hmm.
She was very succinct. She would just say, today is Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And not a whole lot of,
and I'm not going to argue with you otherwise.
But I do think that I've revisited my opinion on her in that regard for sure. But yeah, that was my thought on her. It was just like, you know what? And I think she was direct when she said things. I think that's what appealed, what attracted her to the conservative movement and had the conservative movement endeared to her was the fact that she would say things and be very succinct. She would just say it. And if she qualified it, it would be after the fact. And I think that's what endeared her to him. But now as Mindset Bruce said, where is it? Mindcast Bruce, you said it. They stopped liking what she was saying. There it is. They just stopped liking what she said. Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is now.
Again, that's who she is. My proposal is just that chemicals have only exacerbated who she naturally is. She was always confrontational. I mean, if you look at her way back when she was still a youngin', long before marriage, when she was out there with the rocking the ponytail, she's always been direct. Eye contact, fast clipped speaking. You heard her T's, you heard her S's. I understand that, and I'm not taking away her wit and her ability to come with debate skills.
Facts.
I'm just sensing crazy.
Well, I got you. I think she could be on the spectrum. I know for a fact she will not admit that she is wrong. I think you gave us those 3 questions. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I need help. And what was the third one?
I was wrong.
I was wrong.
I'm sorry. I was wrong, and I need help.
Any help? And I can't see her saying that she was wrong about something, especially again, like when you look at this,
that's because she's been proven right for so many times.
Well, okay, and that's fair. And she might
be right. It's hard to say you're wrong when you can always come back and say, "I told you so."
There's a few things she was wrong on. There's a few things that I could say that I do not believe that she had the right argument or perspective on. But to your point, when you have been in the public aisle for so long, and you have been in the when you've been in the sphere where you create your own lane, like there's some people that are not in anybody else's lane. Like Tucker Carlson was in his own lane because he didn't really agree with everybody. Ben Shapiro's in his own lane. You don't have to like him, but they're in Tatum, like all these different guys are personalities. Yeah, they're on the right, but they're in their own lane. Candace got in her own lane. I never thought the Daily Wire was a good move for her at all. I just didn't think that especially with the Israel conflict and different things like that, I don't think that was good. I think in the sense of she's been allowed to, as maybe you were saying this, and maybe I'm just wording it different. She's been allowed to say so much, so long, without ever being able to be rebutted because she talks in paragraphs where you can't get a sentence in. She talks in books, and she talks in
talking books is crazy.
And she talks a long time. Like it's so by the time you get ready to like argue with her, you like have 50 points you have to rebuttal, and you might get one right. You might rebuttal 1 point, but you got the other 49 wrong.
Exactly.
So I think that she has been wrong. It's just it's been more right than wrong, and so we can't remember those times where she was been wrong and has said those things that may not have resonate even with the conservative right. There are some things that I don't think she is able to say. Main Chaos Brewer said she gets out a complete thought. Most people cannot. I think she gets out a complete thought because she has a platform. Like she can go on YouTube anytime she wants and produce a 2-hour episode. While most of us got jobs. Like you might get 15 minutes on my YouTube channel. I got stuff to do. I'm not getting paid off my YouTube career. So I think with her platform allows her. Most people don't take debates. And I mean, I've seen a few times where, notes in the day. I've seen a few times where people were just not prepared to talk to her because normally I don't see her get into a discussion she's not studied.
Exactly.
She's not going to. Yeah, you're not going to get her in a debate on who's the greatest.
No, but
watch it. She went on the Breakfast Club, right? And the Breakfast Club made the mistake of trying to debate her in her element on her subjects, and it couldn't do it.
Yes.
Now, once they started talking about hip hop and black culture, she was completely lost. She was like, "Well, I don't know nothing about that. Like, I came from Philly, but I've not been involved in that culture. So I think she really only talks about the stuff that she studied, and then that way you can't almost makes you impossible to lose. But there has been some times she has been wrong.
Yeah, okay. Like I said, she has some kaiju level Dunning-Kruger effect, because if you go back and watch that Allie Beth Stuckey and Candace's husband debating Protestantism and Catholicism, she knew she did not need to be in there at all.
That's right.
And anything related to the scriptures, she is completely in over it, and she will not admit it, and she'll just say things and do things that are out of pocket. And that's why she can say that she's a conservative, but she can get down with Andrew Tate, or she can be okay with calling out 304s on the whatever podcast, but she has no problem with calling out. She has a problem with speaking intelligently to Nick Fuentes, and so.
Or rabbis or imams, anything religious. I agree 110% that she is a Christless conservative. Yeah. Because this, Mike, is where she's gotten out of her lane. Now, her lane was her lane, right. But once you invoke Jesus, you diverted. If you don't know him, if you don't know his word, you've gotten off your freeway, out of your lane. Now you're speeding down a left lane, the HOV lane, with nobody in your car.
No, I agree 100%.
That's and then when you said that Christless conservative, broken clocks are always right twice a day.
And let me real quick. It's just so Mind Chaos doesn't think I'm just picking on. You don't have to be a Christian to think and to know that the deletion of babies is wrong.
That's right.
You don't have to be a Christian to say that trying to snip and cut and sew and stitch little boys and little girls into Franken creatures of your liking is bad. You don't have to be a Christian.
It was Muslims who took and won the Supreme Court case about opting out of classes. It wasn't even us. It was Muslims who won that case.
So, and great point. So what I'm saying is, however, what is it moored to? What is it? So if you, it's fine. You don't want children deleted in the womb. You don't want spanking children, but for what? What is your reasoning for it? Therein is the rub. In my opinion, that's where the Christless conservatism comes. There's tons of people who are conservatives that are irreligious, that are Muslims, that are fill in the blank. So it's not, you don't have to be a Christian to be a conservative. That's what I'm saying. So okay.
Listen, I'm going to let you go because I have to be. I'm going to listen, but I have to be to work at 5:30 a.m. here on the East Coast. So I really need to get to bed. But I have missed you so much.
Well, thank
and
you for
I'm looking
welcoming me
for. And
back.
thank you for making me a mod. I'm so excited.
You're more than welcome. Good to see you.
Yeah,
Amethyst
keep it
Angel.
going. All right.
Take care,
Thank you,
friend.
Mike. Good meeting you. Good talking to you.
Good meeting you too.
Okay. Good night.
Good night now. All right. Look, I can talk to religious leaders too. I can be fair shooter with different religious leaders. I mean, we can have a conversation. That's true. However, I think Christless is extreme. Not one of us is with outside. Nobody's saying that. That's not what we're saying. What I am saying, however, is, I actually go ahead. Oh, we're gonna pull it back up.
No, I would say I think her statement by Christless is to say that her conservatism is based on conservatism, and because of that, she doesn't lead with Christ. So I think maybe the word was used to say that her conservatism is not wrapped in the idea of the words that Christ would speak. In my opinion, I believe that sometimes that there is some things where you do kind of sit back and be like, man, is he a believer? And then when the whole Protestant versus Catholicism debate came out, and she was like completely clueless, I was like, well, wait a minute, because you want to assume that every conservative or those who are not woke, and I'm not even going to say left, woke is its own group. You want to assume that those people are not. You don't want to say they're not believers, so you don't want to assume that. I think in this conversation, you just automatically associate Christian and church with the right, and so when you hear somebody who's in a conservative space say things that don't have a Christian value or ethic system or morality or belief system, then you'd be like, well, what do they believe in, really?
Right.
And converting to another religion, that's probably what I would think that statement came from. The totality of her arguments and her discussions, not just her viewpoints on Israel, not just her viewpoints on different things that have happened in a political discussion. So I think that's where the word Christless came in. I would assume. I mean, that can be clarified, but yeah.
No, that's 100% what I meant. To answer your question in a swift answer, no. There's a different. We are talking about between Protestants and Catholics. We're talking about a different means of salvation. Really, very basic. We're talking about a very different means of salvation. Whether it be,
I believe we have a difference in atonement as well.
Well, yeah, I'm just look. There's a lot of different things, but I'm just going to use one in a very quick. Like either Christ did it all, or you do something. It's really that simple. And in Catholicism, you're going to do something. You must do something. And in true Christianity, I've done nothing. Christ has done it all. It's that simple. Now we can go on for 2 or 3 more days discussing into the deeper weeds of the matter, but that's the simple basics of it.
That's another show.
Yeah, that's 2 other shows. I don't know. No. There's a because then we can get into some of the differences, like the involvement of Mary, the involvement of relics, all these other things that come into the play that are not a part of the Christian faith. I know that's going to get some people upset. dearwokesee@gmail.com. But no, it's not. So again, I'm not trying to be difficult just for difficult sake, but no, Catholicism is a different faith system. So, I mean, is that simple? I know I have some other Catholics that have been checking me out and stuff like that, and that's okay. But I mean, we can still enjoy this content and talk about it. But once we have to leave the reservation and get into the deeper conversations, I have to admit, Catholicism and Christianity are not able to work side by side in cohesion because you have a different belief in what Christ did.
Mindless Chaos, there's a gentleman in the chat, Caldwell Apologetics, consider looking at this channel to get you a
shout
little
out
bit
to
more
Rick.
information on that. It is a simple discussion, but it's more nuanced than what we can go into on this channel within this context. And it is not to dismiss your viewpoint or your thought process or opinion, but there's definitely a difference between Catholicism, specifically Roman Catholicism, and Christianity. There's a vast difference on a lot. So
I love the question.
Mind Chaos Brew. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, I think because we were already saying we had less in the conversation, but all right, Mike, real quick, did you drop your link in the chat by any chance? So everybody knows.
Yeah, it was dropped in there.
Okay, cool.
Let me see.
Thank you, Amethyst.
I believe Amethyst, whatever. I
Amethyst
don't know
Angel.
how to read that one. She dropped it in the chat. I'll drop it again. Let me see. Yep, she dropped it again.
I love it. All right, now you've been doing some pretty up to date, regular, how to ruin a podcast. I think I saw today.
Yes.
What are the things you got working on? That you're working on your channel, Mike?
So I work at a place called. It used to be called Premier Studios. It's now called PMD Studios. And our boss is thinking about retiring after working 25 years. So I've actually been taking over the logistical duties here. So now I'm not just doing podcasting and not just doing the things that allow me to excel at the areas that I've studied, but I'm learning new things. I do live engineering. I'm doing podcasting on a regular basis, working in a small recording studio as well. So now I'm taking the expertise that I have and I'm trying to learn it and apply it to a wider sense. I'm doing events here as well. So a few of the podcasts and the episodes I've been doing lately are based on my experiences here, and that kind of helped because nothing here is different than what you would do in a live stream, in a podcast, or even on a church. Since we have an event center that rents to a church regularly, I'm able to take all of the audio knowledge I know and apply it into those fields. So I have been concentrating on making sure that I can share with you the same thing. I messed up an audio podcast. I know why I messed it up, and I was able to share after figuring it out. Then the next podcast we had after that, I fixed it and was able to record an hour and a half, use OBS to do it, get multiple channels, multiple audio things, and edit it pretty fast. So that and I also found out some new ways at OBS to be able to says I'm still breaking up occasionally. I'm sorry, I don't know what it is. Please
say when we get done, we can maybe we'll just stay on and mess around with things. I know it's got to be something basic.
It probably is. I'm using a different switcher today. My switcher's in the other podcast room, so it could be that. It could be the audio bit rate. I don't know what it is, but again, if I figure it out, that'll be another video.
There we go.
Because I'm not the only person that has audio issues. I may be the one having them now, but I might not be the only one having audio issues. So it could be my mic is too loud. I don't know, but I'll turn it down here. But yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it might be clipping, but it is what it is. Well, appreciate you, man, Mike. Thank you so much for following through. Maybe we'll do this again.
Yeah. I'm here on Sundays now. And so if you want to do Sunday shows, I'm here from 12 to 5 on Sundays, working the other church that has 2 services in the big room. So usually about 3:30, 4 o'clock, they're done with their 2 services. So I just kind of hang around here, get some things done. And yeah, so.
I love it. But yeah, we'll make that happen, man. We'll make it happen. Mind Chaos says adjust your audio and your gains. But,
yeah, I'm not particularly crazy about these Shure mics. You have to turn. I usually use an Audio Technica mic. This is my first time using this. My Audio Technica mic is, you don't necessarily need the gain is high because it's a studio mic. These Audio Technica mics, I haven't figured them out yet. We got like 6 of them here. So I was like, well, let me use one to see if it sounds better. I do love the clarity. I won't lie. But I am not a fan of these mics yet. So I will fix that.
I got you. I'm a Shure mic fan, so it is what it is.
I just haven't used them. I was using the Audio Technica mic for well over 8 years, so that's what I've been accustomed to. So yeah,
I like it.
That's probably what it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll figure it out. But I want to say thank y'all. Thank you, Mike, for following through. I appreciate it. As well as Thank you so much, Mike, for following through. My Chaos Brew about to break some knowledge on you.
Since my direction settings are off, I don't know if there's a direction setting on this mic. Hold on.
Just go and keep talking. It sounds better already. She got it right, man.
I haven't changed anything. I haven't changed anything.
Did you move anything?
I haven't changed
Okay, keep
anything.
talking.
All I did was turn the mic over. I haven't changed anything. I turned the gain down a little bit. I adjusted the setting in my Focusrite panel.
And just talk. Just talk.
I'm talking now.
Okay, keep talking. Don't stop.
What you want me to talk about?
I just want to see if you cut out. That's what I'm trying to see.
Okay, what did you talk about before? What was I cutting out when Amethyst Angel was on the phone? I don't know. I just
tell us about, if you don't mind, Mike, tell us what would be 5 things that you would encourage a new content creator to do to improve their OBS. Go.
Check. I don't know how to use this thing. 5 things to do to prove their what?
Improve their live streams.
Okay. Lighting. The more lights, the better. Graphics.
Lights.
Get enough graphics. Get good graphics. Graphics are free. You definitely can work on your audio, but when I mean work on your audio is don't use the computer mic. Try to use I don't like USB microphones. I think you should find a audio device that you can plug an XLR microphone in.
Okay.
Definitely look at free graphics. And here's another thing. Try to use AI. You can put your video link in almost AI and tell it to give you suggestions, and it will critique your video very, 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 very thoroughly. So use AI for that, and also use AI to help you create your titles and your descriptions. So I think all of that will help you be able to improve your live stream. Use the tools that are available for everyone that has them. And I think that live stream is so much better today. YouTube is so much more easier. Definitely do not just go out and buy gear. I think you should use all the tools that you need to improve your live stream. Jason, I think you're distracted by your moving gym screens background. I don't know what that means.
I didn't get distracted by your moving gym. Well, it used to be. It doesn't. I think she's talking about this right here. I believe this is what she's talking about right here. Remember that?
Yeah. I mean, I think, okay, so I think since we're critiquing, I think maybe the speed of that as well as the I think the frame rate, I definitely would try to find a more slower moving green screen. And it looks like you slowed it down manually.
Yeah, I got rid of the old ones.
There were some other ones in here. I will drop a link in the chat where you can get free backgrounds. I don't know if it'll go through. Pixabay.com has, when you go and you search for pictures, you can change the top link to video, and all those videos are royalty free. So you can put green in there and it'll give you 100 green free backgrounds. You just download them. I wouldn't recommend running them in HD. I don't think you need them in HD. I would definitely run those at you can get a 960 by 540, or you can get a 720 video. But you go to pixabay.com, when you search for anything, because it's a picture website and they give you a free account, I think you just need to go in the top right corner and click on video, and they will give you a load of green backgrounds that are all HD, smooth running. They're that you can get them in 4K if you need them, but that's what I would do.
Gotcha. Okay. What we got here? Okay. I love it.
I'm gonna put green. Let me go in here and see.
You sound better though, Mike, since we were talking, but I don't know if there's something about what was causing you to clip. So I mean, you can.
Mike was probably too loud. I mean, yeah, it probably what it does. If I can share my screen, I don't know if I can share my screen or not. Do you have me on shared screen yet? Let me see here.
You should be able to.
No, share screen. Share. Let's pick this. Share. Let me see here. Okay, I'll put green lights in here for Pixabay, and there's a few down here you probably could use. You have this one right here, which is
that one looks very familiar.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a lot less motion, and most of these are already looped. So I mean, something like that might work. These are all royalty free. It actually, if you look in the terms of service, you have this one right here. This one might be a little fast for you. I don't know, but there's a bunch on Pixabay. You just put what you're looking for as far as backgrounds, and these are all free. If you mouse over them, I think this one right here would be good. It's kind of slow moving and it's on a loop already. I think that one would be great. I don't know if you're sticking with the green color or not, but Pixabay offers.
Yeah, I like the green.
You need an account to download images, but you do not need an account to download videos. So you got one that's too fast right there. That's too much. This one's too much. That might be too much. I just put green lights in there. You can put green lights, green waves. Yeah, this one actually will work too. It's not as fast moving. I love this one right here. Just connect the dots waveforms. So I think that's a tip right there.
Like it.
It's free. So, yeah.
It's free. You can't beat it. I like it.
Free 99, bro.
Free 99 is great. Well,
yeah.
Mind Chaos Bruce sent you a link. I just put it in the private chat.
Okay.
For you to check out. You probably would have got there eventually, but yeah, I want to say thank you so much. Wait, go ahead.
I have two Shure mics here, so I just have to. I think I like the other one better. I think I like this one better. I like the way this one sounds better. It gives me a little bit more volume.
Which one is that one? Let me see the bottom of that one.
I think this is an MVX. I think.
Is that the one with just the XLR? Okay, that's what I have. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the one I have. I think I like.
Let's have
this
a
one
taller
better.
capsule. I had a taller. Which color?
Yeah, same mic.
Yeah, that's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember my number or which one that is, but yeah, I like that. That one has the.
This has a button on the bottom, but it doesn't move. So maybe there's a tool or something. But I'm not really. Like I said, it sounds clearer. I won't lie. I think the Audio Technica has deeper bass, which I don't like. But I get a better volume control, especially because it's a 48-volt phantom power. So I think I get deeper bass out of that one. I think this one's just for talking. So
just talking.
Yeah.
Just here for talking. I love it. Mike, get out of here, man. What time is it over there? Oh, by the way, Mike is in Arizona.
It's only 7:00, but I've been here since 1:30, so it's time for me to go home. I've been out at church at 8:30. So yeah, I'm heading on a 12-hour day. So
brother, thank you so much, man, for rocking with me. I appreciate you stopping through. Let's we'll talk. Maybe we'll do it again.
Yeah, let me know. Definitely would like to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Looking forward to it, man.
All right,
brother.
man.
Appreciate you, man. Hey, stay out of trouble, my friend.
Okay.
All right. Grace and peace, man. All right, that was Mike from White Label Consulting. Thank you, Mike and Amethyst Angel, for following through. Thank you to everybody in the best live chat on the internet. I have to go take Chief Executive Secondborn to school tomorrow. Let's see, President Firstborn can't go up to the school because she's too cool because she didn't graduate it. She can't drop her sister off. So that's craziness. But anyway, y'all, we're going to do this again real soon. I got some great videos popping up this week. I think you'll enjoy them, as well as a couple of surprises. Let's see. Looking at what we got here, got a couple of surprises in there for y'all. But I think you'll enjoy them nonetheless. So please, let's jump through. Thank you so much for liking the video. Thank you so much for commenting and let me know what you think about it. And if you run across anything, you can always email management, dearwokec@gmail.com. I will probably change it to my JWitt email eventually, but there it is right there. dearwokec@gmail.com. Follow on through, check me out. I appreciate it. Y'all, thank you so very much. Have a fantastic rest of beginning of the week. So have a great week, and I'll see you real soon. Grace and peace. Take care.